Good evening, everyone. Back to our regularly scheduled... whatever the fuck it is. Hi. Hi, I'm Ethereal. I was TikTok spiraling. I forgot I was streaming. Yay. Thank you for adding to it, Frosty. Me regularly forgetting that I'm streaming because I TikTok spiral? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I can't think that it would ever be me. Like, how rude. That's a noise. It's not coming through the fuck? Okay, something broke. Something the fuck broke. Did I fix it? Thank you for hosting, Pumbaa. I cannot see crap. Because something happened, I don't know what the heck. Anyways. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what happened. I'm glad that you guys weren't hearing that in repeat. That was annoying. I meant to be playing dating game. I meant to be capturing Peter Pan. Thank you for adding to the pot, Pumbaa. Reminder to anyone that's, you know, not one of our regulars. We do have a Miron SFX makeup kit that is being given away, and every 500 channel points, I believe it is, that you chuck into the pot, you get an entry. So, the more channel points you chuck in, the more likely that you're going to get that makeup kit. And don't worry, GAMMA.CON members, even though we are chucking points in to make it go faster, it's like we don't get entries into it, that like we don't get to win it, because that's unfair. Because like most of us are here all the time, so like that'd be rude. Just vibe to this song, man. The fact that this game has a song, even though that the singing person's voice obviously hasn't been recorded quite nicely. Ooh, can we get a cat with this song? I need to ask Kat to have a look at this song and see if maybe she can do something with the song, make it sound better.
The bridge of fantasy, all the pain and sadness that you feel. Believe in me, hold me close, don't never let me go. Come and stay with me forever. Magic lives so long as I am here.
Because the person who sings it, like, their singing voice is good. And I do like the song. I just, something's wrong. Something about it is wrong. It doesn't sound right. I love it, but it also doesn't sound right. Anyways, let's switch over to this so y'all can actually see the frickin' game. No duh. We want to continue from chapter 2 where we get to choose. And in which case, I need my walkthrough up because I am a lazy little shit. And we want Waltz. We want the little boy. No explanation. He's a little boy. So we choose Waltz. He was just here earlier. Maybe he went back inside? See, this is loud in my ears. Oh my gosh. Whoops. I stop and stare at the small orbs of light floating around the room. Ooh, magic! What's going on? No, this isn't it. I watch in awe as Waltz snaps his fingers and all the orbs disappear with a pop. Ooh. You really do be magic, though. Oh, princess. What are you doing? Practicing my next magic trick. I still haven't perfected it. How come you're able to use magic? Are you a witch? A fairy? The good magician never reveals his secrets. Right. Did you need anything? I take a deep breath. Can you teach me about goodness? Huh? Why do you look so surprised? Well, it's just that I didn't think you'd come to me for help. Well, you're right. I left you until last. If you don't want to... No, that's not it at all. I'm happy you asked me. What would you like to know about goodness? How do you do a good deed? That's a very broad question. I don't think I can give you a specific example. Then how do I do good? The easiest way to do good is to make someone happy. So a good deed would involve making someone happy. How do I do that? I stare in horror at the floor. We're back to Broom-chan. Broom-chan is still best bae. Thank you for hosting, Breezy! As you may have noticed by the name of the thing. Why is it going? Why is that still going? Why is my alert box broken? I found a lot of things. I found a couple new manga to read. Someone, what the fuck? Why is this broken? Why? Why you do this? Why is it that I have to No. Every time someone does something and the alert box goes, it breaks. And the only way to stop it is by downloading a different widget. Like, what the fuck? Excuse me, sir. That's not right. I don't understand. I'm really confused. I don't know what I did to deserve this. Thank you for adding more to the pot, Breezy. I'm writing things down. I'm not paying attention to the game. I should listen to my body and go to sleep, but I don't. And I like reading and watching things and TikTok spiraling. Rip me, I guess. Gravel and sand are embedded between the floorboards. The wood beneath my feet is covered in a thick mark. It's Broom John! Yeah! Oh no. Stop! Well, at least you're using your points instead of spamming, like, drinks at me. Spamming drinks and stretches and whatever. Like, that was a lot, Breezy. I'm just reminding you. When you were just trying to waste it all on, like, stretches and just whatever that was there, that was a lot. I never thought I'd see this. The princess is actually sweeping. I'd say it's more like the broom is sweeping and the princess is just along for the ride. Lady Parfait, your orders have arrived. Where should I put them? At the back, please. Thank you. I glare at Garland as he begins to move. Those you do for care as well. I mean, like, fair. But also... You were dirtying the floor! I need to vacuum too. I make people angry at me. Ah. One of these days I'm gonna get kicked out. I'm not even sure if that's a joke. Sorry! Garland dashes across the floor with long steps in an attempt to leave as few footprints as possible. Yeah, I'm that kind of person. Which is also why I need to move somewhere by myself. Because if I'm with someone, it's going to be worse. Because weirdly enough, I'm more productive when I'm by myself. That's kind of sad. This was Delora's doing, wasn't it? Is it obvious? This has witch having fun written all over it. I need water. Wow, completely spotless. You are the worst. Don't be mad at the broom, princess. It's only trying to help. It's doing nothing but making my life miserable. Lady Parfait, I must speak with you. I look up at the witch that's just entered. I need to stop, like, leaning so far to that side. What is it with me in doing that? Like, this is in the middle of the screen, and I just migrate over here. It's like, bye. He's like, bye, the fairy's going. She's a regular at the Marchen, and according to Parfait and Delora, a good witch. She orders tea here from time to time. She has mud on her shoes. Why is she glaring at me like that? I believe it's because of your shoes, dear. I've just cleaned the floor. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll clean up after myself right away. Good. Princess is something else. I've never seen a witch so frightened of someone before. Yeah. The witch hurriedly cleans up the tracks she'd made before coming in before going to speak with Parfait. Even though Parfait says that Delora and this witch is good, I don't trust her judgment. Especially not when she considers Delora, who ruined my life, a good person. I put the broom back in its resting place before double-checking my work. Now that I'm done, I can continue to work on breaking my curse. Who should I ask for help? Waltz. I find Waltz sitting in the corner of the tavern reading a book. You didn't strike me as the kind of person that would read books. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Though to be honest, I wouldn't be reading this if I wasn't preparing for one of my shows. Shows? I don't just do magic shows. I perform puppet shows as well. I have to be familiar with several bedtime stories for those. You should come with me sometime. The children are always so happy at the shows. You might get one of your good deeds helping out. Oh no, no, it wouldn't be chaos. It'd be me stacking things somewhere, and you eventually yelling at me because I haven't moved it. And then eventually I just keep buying things and they end up everywhere. And then like, whatever I buy isn't really even useful, it's just pretty and useless. Like, I am a hopeless human being. And a hoarder. It ain't great. I've never been around children for extended amounts of time. You've got to be patient too. Children can be difficult to handle. You speak as if you aren't a child yourself. That's because I'm not a child. Walt hates it when he's treated like a child. Especially when Karma teases him about it. Besides, patience isn't just for children. It's necessary in a lot of situations. I would guess you might need to work on that. Excuse me? Walt shrugs and with an awkward smile returns to his book. Oh, so we just end up living in a garbage heap. Okay. That's even worse. Returns to his book. Okay. Must be a good book as well. A month has passed and I've yet to complete even one good deed. Not for the lack of trying, though. I've been asking around for advice on how to be a good person and received various answers. What makes someone good? I'd say being selfless. I think it's important that you consider another person's feelings. Patience. The ability to soothe even the most broken of hearts. Forget I asked. Bravery. Loyalty. You must be beautiful, both on the inside and out. Right. Must I be all of those things in order to be good? You would probably just organize every so often. Yeah, look, I don't though. Actually... there is a potential for more things to get done because I get random spurts of motivation in the middle of the night. And most of the time I can't work on them. Midnight cleaning sessions. How's that sound? That sounds good to me. Cleaning in the middle of the night, annoying all of our neighbors. That sounds fantastic. You'll still hate me within a week. I spent a hotel room with a friend when I was in year 9 or 10. They weren't my friend afterwards. You know, other than the fact that every chance they got, they basically abandoned me and left me by myself on that school trip. That's fun. That's fun. If that person is out there and watches this, hi. Yeah, no. We were in Japan. And it was that time of the month. And we shared a hotel room. I am an asshole. And it's worse at that time of the month. And the thing is, it's like subtle asshole as well. So it just seems as if I just am suddenly being really mean to you. And am suddenly just like little jabs at you or something. And like, I don't notice that I'm being an asshole until it's pointed out to me, and I'm just like, oh. I didn't mean it to come out that way. I'm shit with intonation when it comes to my own emotions. I am a horrible person. According to Parfait, I cannot just pretend. It has to come from my heart. Oh, you probably just put up with it? That's bad, though. Don't put up with it. Smack me. Not in that way, either. Don't make this creepy. I place my hand on my chest and consider the steady pulse of my heartbeat. That will not be easy. I close my eyes, thinking of all the possible ways I might be able to break my curse, but in the end, my mind is blank. Mother, what am I supposed to do? A dream? Your personal feelings are nothing but a weakness for others to exploit. That's why you don't show them. You only show them that you're strong. Yes, Mother. You must not let false kindness deceive you. People will use niceties to trick you into exploiting your weak emotions. No smacking of any kind? I mean, you could smack me upside the head. That might do something. But you can trust me, Lucette. I'll never hurt you. I'll never lie to you. I'm all you need. I love you, Lucette. And considering the ending of the last route that we did, that sounds so much creepier. I love you too, Mother. Like, everything concerning, like, everything with our mother in it is now, like, 100 times more creepy. How are those lessons of yours going? I hope you're not giving anyone a difficult time. I'm the only one having a difficult time. Have you tried pairing up with someone? Pairing up? Some of the people in the tavern pair up to assist each other. Two heads are better than one, as they say. It's not a bad idea, but the problem is with her. Who's going to pair up with the Ice Princess? She has a point. People may not glare at me anymore, but it doesn't escape me that I'm still disliked. Most of the boarders at the March-In volunteered to help her, remember? And I haven't heard any of them retract their offers. It's only a matter of time. Stop it, Delora. It's your choice, Princess. Pairing up is only a suggestion. Would pairing up with someone really help me break my curse? What if they end up being an annoyance instead? Princess? Excuse me, Princess? I'm sorry for disturbing you, but you've been staring at your tray and the customer is waiting for his order. Of course. Delora has me helping a niece today. The March-In is unexpectedly busy and they cannot keep up with all the customers. Stop daydreaming, Lucette. Food doesn't deliver itself. I don't need you to tell me that. I stretch out on my bed. The stiff mattress does little to soothe my aching muscles. Same though, Breezy. I really do need someone to smack me upside the head, though. Anyways, I was on my feet the entire day struggling to keep up with the steady stream of people that came into the March-In. I've never seen the March-In this busy. I roll into my stomach and bury my face into my pillow. My arms and leg protest the movement. I refuse to live this type of life much longer. I need to break this curse as soon as possible. Why don't you pair up with someone? Pairing up might not be such a bad idea. It'll be our boy Waltz, though. Chapter 3, Peter Pan. So, this is actually the first character that we know straight from the start what their curse is, what it does to them. Oh. Damn it, Breezy, I thought I could rely on you. Because when we started off with Rod, like, straight up, they were just like, it's not straight up. It was a lot of just, the rabbit was on his shoulder. We thought he was talking a lot, but it's actually the rabbit talking for him, being able to read his mind. Second was... who was it? It was Karma. Second was Karma. And when we started out, we were just like, he dresses as a girl? For a reason? Maybe? Rumpel... no. Rumpel, they straight up told us almost immediately what his thing was. But, actually, no. The main thing with Frit, with Waltz, is that we know how to, like, fix his curse from the other roots. The other roots, like, all of the other characters, their curses and the way to break them have never been mentioned in any of the other roots. Waltz is the only character whose curse and the way to break it has been mentioned in other roots. Huh. That's interesting. I decide that I cannot waste any more time. The next day I search for Waltz as soon as the broom stops dragging me around. I swear he was here just a while ago. Anise, have you seen Waltz? Oh, I just saw him walk back inside. I find him talking with Parfait and Delora in the reception area. All of them are speaking in solemn whispers. As soon as Parfait and Delora notice me, they break off their conversation with Waltz. Both the witch and the fairy step away from Waltz. Excuse us, princess. I watch curiously as Delora and Parfait leave the room without another word to me. What were they talking about? Waltz turns in my direction and smiles. Morning, princess. I turn towards Waltz and watch as he begins to put some puppets on the table into a box. Are these toys yours? These? They're for a show I'm doing later. I wouldn't be playing with these things at my age. You look 12. I don't see how that's too old to be playing with dolls. I told you before, didn't I? I have the Neverland curse. He never explained what his curse was. I'm actually older than you are. I find that hard to believe. You don't know the story of Peter Pan, do you? Bitch, have you not been listening? I understood the assignment. It's not my fault that Mother had all the fairy tales removed from the palace. When I don't answer, Waltz only sighs and gives me a small smile. I'll assume that's a yes. Peter Pan is a boy who lives in Neverland. It's a place where no one ever grows up. I'm stuck in a child's body as a result of my curse. I won't revert to my real form until my curse is broken. Then how old are you really? I'm 22 this year. What? I can only stare in shock at Waltz's childish appearance. It's hard to believe that he's actually older than I am. I've never liked being treated as a child. That's never changed. Even when I was a child, I didn't like it. But let me assure you that it is much more annoying being treated like a child by someone who's younger than you. Waltz straightens with the box in his arms. Now, if my princess will excuse me. He turns to leave. Where are you going? I have a show to do today. Waltz does so many puppet and magic shows. How will he help me break my curse if he's never around? I'll go with you. What? I might accomplish a good deed if I come to one of your shows. That's true, but... Waltz sighs. I'm not sure it's a good idea. There are bad witches out there. Oh? There's an evil witch right here in the margin, but no one is protecting me from her. Are you talking about Delora? Who else would I be referring to? Oh no, I'll help you find something that's nice and chewable. I get that feeling. Sometimes I just want to find some, like, really nice, like, piece of rubbery something and just chew. I don't get that feeling much anymore. Or at least I get that feeling a lot. I just don't act on it. Also the fact that a lot of the things around me aren't very nice chewy things. And that's where when you go and find food that is chewy. Yeah. Crunchy snacks. Waltz stares at me for a long moment, eyes thoughtful. He sets the box down on the table again. Don't go anywhere. I'll ask Lady Parfait first. He leaves the room. I lean over the box on the table and see a pile of carefully detailed puppets. Everything looks handmade. I used to sew my own puppets before Mother found out and forbade me from making them. She told me that sewing wasn't something the Crown Princess should do. Interested? Walt's footsteps are so soft that I don't even notice he's returned to the room until I see him standing before me. I step away from the box. How does he move so quietly? Permission granted. Come on, the show starts in an hour. I watch as Waltz sets up the small booth on the street where I'd first seen him with Emmeline. Back then, I never thought I would see him again. It's nice to see you actively trying to break your curse. I shrug. I'm not convinced this will work, but Parfait said that if I partnered up with someone, I might be able to break my curse faster. So you chose to partner with me? His tone of voice startles me. He sounds both happy and sad. Was he lying when he said he wanted to help me? That everyone in the March-In was willing to help me? Would you rather I pick someone else? No! I jump at his sudden reaction. Waltz awkwardly clears his voice. No, I'll do everything I can to help you. Waltz heads for the back of the booth. I begin to follow him, but am forced to stop when he holds out his hand. You haven't had enough training to be my personal assistant yet, Princess. What? I stare at him puzzled. I never said I wanted to be your personal assistant. And training? Why would one need training to assist with a children's show? You might just be able to snag a good deed if you agree to become my assistant, you know. There is a teasing twinkle in Waltz's eyes as he waves me off. But until you're ready, you should stay with the children and just watch the show. I think you'll enjoy this story. I recommend getting a place up front. You'll be able to see all the action that way. When I don't move, Waltz sighs and smiles at me. I promise the children won't bite you unless you bite them first. Fine. That's my star. Star? We have a pet name already? Ooh. Waltz moves quick. Oh. Oh, it just hit me. He called us Star. We know where Tinkerbell and Neverland are. We're the star! Woo! Symbolism! We know the references because we know what the curse is from the start and how to break it and everything. If we went back to the other routes, we'd probably see, like, all of these different, like, references that we didn't get the first time around because we didn't know that they were a reference. Fuck's sake. Well written. Well written. He disappears around the back, leaving me alone. In no time at all, people begin to gather. Soon there's an impressive audience around the Waltz's small booth. I look at the group of... I now have a much better explanation as to why people don't, like, drink milk before doing things that requires them to speak a lot. But also it's hot chocolate and I'm not going to waste this. I look at the group of children that are clustered as close as possible to the front. They're all clearly excited for the show to start. I used to do puppet shows with my dolls too. I felt less alone when I pretended my dolls could talk. And I'm still alone. Nothing has changed. I sigh as I sidestep to allow someone else to stand beside me. I'm surprised to see that the person is an adult. I look out at the gathering crowd of people and find that there's an almost equal ratio of children and adults. Why would adults be at something as childish as a puppet show? Hello, everyone! An excited silence falls over the area as Waltz's voice rises above the crowd. I, Waltz, am here once again to share another story with you. I hope you enjoy the show. Once upon a time, there was a village whose people were always happy. But one day, an evil witch found the village. The evil witch carried darkness deep within her heart. She was jealous of the townfolk who were filled with so much light and happiness. If I cannot be happy, the evil witch said, then no one can be happy. How overly dramatic. I almost jump when I feel a tug on my dress. I look down to see a little boy pulling at the hem of my skirt through his eyes, though his eyes remain focused on the puppets. I don't like her. That witch. She's bad. His grip on my skirt tightens. He's wrinkling my dress. So, oh, the good ending is remove his hand. Okay. Weird, but okay. I reach down to pry the boy's hand off my skirt, but the boy moves faster than me. The moment I pull his hand away, he quickly refastens his grip, this time around my hand. Hey! The boy doesn't move his hand. In fact, his hold only tightens, so much so that I find it impossible to pull my hand away. There's no way I can make him let go without causing a scene. Now I'm going to be stuck holding the hand of a little boy I don't know until the end of the show. How did this happen? Darkness spread over the village. The people began to suffer. They forgot what happiness felt like. One villager decided to leave and find a good witch that would help save everyone from the evil witch. This villager knew it would be very dangerous, for if he were discovered, the evil witch would certainly kill him and his family. But the man knew he had to try if he ever wanted to see the other villagers smile again. Many days later, the man finally returned with a good witch whose heart was filled with light as the evil witch's was filled with darkness. The good witch, unable to bear the sight of the villagers' suffering, decided to help them. She cast a powerful spell that would send the evil witch away and save the village at the cost of her own life. Once the spell was cast, the darkness disappeared from the village. To this day, the people of the village are said to carry the good witch's light within them. And everyone lived happily ever after. But aren't all witches evil? That's simply not true. I've met a good witch, one with a heart more light and loving than any fairies. I'm just gonna make a mess of myself. Good thing it's the end of the day, huh? How about I just finish drinking this before we continue? That's better. Now I'm not messing with hot chocolate and getting it down my front. I have a drinking problem. I can't get it in my mouth. Anyways. Continuing. So I'm not sure if anyone has actually read the signs in the background. This sign here, it says barcode. Also, this one here looks like it says bell. Cool. More of the children begin to ask questions. I sigh, unable to do anything except wait while Waltz is bombarded with questions. Thank you. The boy that took my hand gives it one last squeeze before running off to join his friends. Bye. What did he thank me for? Once the audience finally leaves, Waltz comes out from behind the booth and smiles up at me. The show was a success. Princess? There was a boy. He thanked me even though I did nothing for him. The little boy who was with you? But you did do something. You held his hand. I didn't want to. I realized that when I saw the annoyed look on your face. It would have been good of you to do it if you'd meant to calm him down. What? That boy was really frightened by the evil witch in the show. He thanked you because you held his hand and stayed with him when he was scared. Sometimes just having someone beside you when you're afraid is enough. Having someone beside you? I think back on all the times I felt scared. Mother always told me to hide my fear and to never cry because it made me appear weak. I could never ask for her help and the king was never there for me. Every time I was afraid, I was always alone. I shake off the memories and realize that Waltz is asking me a question. What did you think of the show? It was short and simple. That's it. I created that entire show, you know. Story, characters, everything. It could have been better. Yes, I noticed that when you said the music was perfect for the clip. I will have a look at it later, Breezy. You wound me. I have nothing more to say, and Walt seems disheartened by my silence. You always complimented my stories, even when they were silly. Walt's telling me stories? I don't recall such a thing. He makes it sound as if we'd known each other for a long time. Before I could ask him for clarification, he changes the topic. Do you mind accompanying me to the toy shop before we head back? Do I have a choice? Waltz's lips quirk with a smile as he picks up his materials. You might have fun, Princess. Come on. This is the shop I went to before I was cursed. Feel free to look around, Princess. I won't be too long. I nod at him before walking over to the doll display. The dolls here are actually beautiful. But with the gold I have left, I wouldn't be able to afford even one. I miss my dolls. Papa, I want that one! The sound of a little girl's voice draws my attention. I look around the store before spotting the little girl pointing at a big teddy bear. She looks expectantly at the man beside her. That must be her father. The man shakes his head, his eyes filled with regret. We can't afford that one, dear. Could you choose something else? The girl looks like she's on the verge of bawling. I back away, fearing that the child might throw a tantrum. Instead, she rubs at her eyes before looking up at her father with a slow smile. I understand. The man smiles and pats her head. Thank you for understanding, sweetheart. You're being so grown up. I only need you and Mama to be happy. I love you, Papa. I love you too. The king has never once told me that he loved me. He must be better off without me. Do I even belong in the palace anymore? Papa, look! The king! The moment I hear her say his title, I quickly rush from the toy shop. Hail the king! Long live the king! Hail King Gennaro! He's the first one I see, mounted on his favourite white stallion as he waves at everyone. I spot Ophelia, Rod and Emmeline with him, mimicking his motions. The king used to invite me to join him before, but I always declined. He always went out alone. Once a month, the king sets out to check on the conditions of the kingdom in person. It's his way of bonding with the townsfolk. The Order of Caldera trails behind the royal family with Sir Alcaster at the head. But there's one particular person that's missing. It's strange that Fritz isn't here. The parade is an impressive sight. The crowds lining the streets become denser with each passing second. I weave around the mess of people in an attempt to get closer to the king. Thank you, everyone. He's smiling. A true smile. I've never seen him smile like that at me. A heaviness begins to weigh down my heart. Suddenly, it becomes harder to breathe. Please look this way. Please look at me. The king is looking happier these days, isn't he? I don't think I've ever seen him so joyful. It must be his family. Happier? All I want is for the king to look at me, to see me. But he doesn't so much as glance my way once. I stare at the ground with bleary eyes. He's happy without me. I return to the toy shop with a heavy heart. The little girl from earlier is standing there with her father by the door. He ruffles her hair before holding out his hand out to her with a smile. She takes it with a giggle and the two walk off together. A hot ache sings through my blood as I watch them leave. Is this jealousy? I reach up and clutch at my chest. The heartbeats feel painful. This is a terrible feeling. Princess? Lucette? I stare at Waltz, temporarily stunned by the fact he called me by my name and not my title. Are you okay? Despite myself, I find my eyes drawn back to the little girl and her father as they stand just outside the door to the toy shop. Princess? I'm fine. You don't look fine to me at all. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the little girl and her father as they disappear out into the crowd outside the toy shop. I am. You still act tough even though you're hurting inside. I'm not... Here. What's this for? In case you suddenly feel like crying. I'm not going to cry. I'm not that weak. Waltz frowns when I don't take the handkerchief from him. He puts it back into his pocket with a shake of his head. Crying doesn't make you weak, princess. Waltz's gaze moves to the set of teddy bears displayed on one of the shelves. He's quiet for a few moments before he speaks. He's affected by the curse. What? The king. He can't remember you because of the curse. It doesn't mean he never cared about you. That's the reason you look so down, right? I was looking outside. I saw the way you looked at him. Doesn't he know that it's rude to stare? Oh, and how did I look? Hurt. I turn away before Waltz can see the frustration on my face. He loves you, you know. More than you'll ever know. And how would you know that? You don't know him at all. Everyone has their own ways of expressing their love. I'm sure he has his own ways. By not being there when I needed him, he's never acted like a father to me. Princess, don't pretend to know what my life at the palace was like, Waltz. This conversation is over. Let's return to the marching. Honey, you don't know what a father is like to know that he was a father. And look what I drew. Lucette, you know you're not meant to be in here. But I drew this picture of us. See? That's Mother and me. And you're holding Mother's hands. Go play somewhere else, Lucette. I'm busy. But you're always busy, Father. I just want to... Go to your mother. I'm sure she's looking for you. Okay. Well, baby. I'm vaguely aware of the moonlight in my room when I sit up in my bed, heart beating painfully fast. What was I dreaming about? Felt like I was dreaming about the king, but why now? A few days have already passed since I saw him. I fall back onto the bed. I close my eyes and once again attempt sleep, but it hovers stubbornly out of my reach. What was that? Who could be making that noise at this time of night? I step out of my bed and head outside to investigate. There's no one here. The sound is coming from the tavern. We want to check. I slowly turn the knob and open the door. Hello? The broom begins to hop toward me. I begin to back away. It's the middle of the night. There's no way I'm going to sleep now. But the broom just hops past to cower behind me. That's some broom you've got there. Waltz? What are you doing here? I couldn't sleep, so I decided to continue working on some of my puppets. But I accidentally stepped on the broom and it went berserk. I turn around and grab Mr. Broom, leaving it against its designated spot on the wall. But why are you here? I heard a sound. As curious as always. It's gonna get you in trouble, you know. I don't need to be lectured by you. I apologize for waking you up. You should go back to sleep. I would not be here if I could sleep. I might as well stay for a while. If that's what you want. Waltz turns back to his puppets on the table. He leans down over the puppets, checking their seams. Since you're here, I think you can help me. Help you? It's a chameleon! What do you think of my newest puppet? I look at Waltz with surprise. With his eyes so wide and his lower lip jutting out, he looks almost like a puppy begging for a treat. Aww. Is he expecting a compliment on the puppet? Well, I look closely at the puppet's eyes. It looks evil? Really? I'm glad to hear that. It's going to be the villain in my next show. That's meant to be evil? What? Thank you for the help, Princess. I'm glad that my mentor approves. Mentor? Waltz doesn't answer. That's it? Indeed. I only offered an opinion, but he looks so happy. What a weird person. Waltz resumes his sewing in silence. He's very talented to be able to sew such a complicated animal. He's probably been doing this for a long time to be so skilled. Probably even longer than I expect, considering the nature of his curse. You look like you've got something on your mind, Princess. Well, you've never actually told me how to break your curse. Ah, I guess I haven't. Waltz clears his throat as he goes back to his sewing. I need to find Tinkerbell in Neverland. Oh, right, you don't know the story. Mother burned all the fairy tale books in the palace before I could read most of them. And nobody would tell me any of the stories. Mother always forbid me from talking about them. Peter Pan is the story of a boy who never grows up. He's accompanied by a fairy friend named Tinkerbell, and the two of them live together in Neverland. In my case, Tinkerbell is a key that can open Neverland. Neverland is a box, a family heirloom. My shadow is being kept in Neverland. That shadow is my magic. Once I get it back, my curse will break. Magic? I'm a witch, Princess. He says it so nonchalantly, like stating what his job is. He and Delora are the same? I've seen Waltz conjure flowers from thin air before, but I never associated that with the type of magic that witches do. You're a witch? A cursed witch? How is that possible? Only the Tenebrarum bearer has the ability to curse another witch. It's why I can only do simple magic nowadays. If I ever want to cast proper spells again, I'm going to need to find Tinkerbell and Neverland. You don't know where Tinkerbell and Neverland are? No, I don't. Does that mean you're stuck in this form forever? How about a story? I feel annoyance begin to simmer in me. Ow. Why do you do that? You change the subject to purposefully avoid answering me. No, that's not it, Princess. I'm trying to explain, and I think a story is the best way for me to do that. I am silent as Waltz reaches into his box of puppets. He pulls out two of them, then motions for me to sit in front of him. He holds out a puppet to me, and I can tell he intends for me to wear it on my hand. My feelings on the subject must show in my face, but Waltz is resolute. Please? I don't know what this will achieve, but maybe this way I'll get some answers. Fine. This is cute. Waltz takes a deep breath. Once upon a time, there lived a princess who was all alone. She spent most of her time inside her room as her mother, the queen, forbade her from going out. The princess's only company were her dolls. But the princess so badly wanted friends that she would always sneak out of the palace to play with the children who lived in town. It's as if he's narrating my childhood. How do you... But Waltz continues speaking as if he doesn't hear me. One day, the princess met a boy. The boy was a few years older than her, and he was the queen's faithful servant. The boy could see how lonely the princess was, and his heart ached for her. They became friends. Every day he would sneak into her room and would play with her. They spent 2 years like that. Until the Queen found out. The boy was sent away and he never saw the princess again. Until a short while ago. I stumble back and the puppet slides off my hand as I stare at Waltz, my mind whirling. We've known each other for a long time, princess. This cannot be true. Waltz looks at me again, his expression full of melancholy. This is so cute. Does that mean, like, he's where her obsession with dolls came from? That's fucking adorable. I always see that look. He wears it even when he's happy. He seems to carry that sadness with him wherever he goes. We were friends. I never had any friends. I would have remembered. That's what you remember. Your memories have holes in them. Gaps that you can't explain. How do you know that? Because I was there when the Queen ordered that some of your memories be erased. Mother? But why? I don't believe you. I don't believe any of this. I didn't expect you to believe me. Why is he looking at me like that? He looks like he's in pain. But he can't be telling the truth. I stand up straight, my hands clenched into fists. Going back to my room. I almost run from the tavern area. Waltz doesn't try to follow me. Waltz's words looped persistently in my mind. We were friends. I sit on one of the chairs in the reception area, trying to put my thoughts in order. There's no way that he was my friend. Oh, what's this? What a delight to run into the princess at this hour. Though I must ask, why are you still awake, darling? I jump at the sound of Karma's voice. I turn to look at him. Karma frowns at the expression on my face. You look like you've seen a ghost. I can only stare at him in response. Oh my, is my beauty so captivating you find yourself at a loss for words? No, I was just thinking. About how beautiful I am? His ego knows no bounds. I roll my eyes and change the subject. What are you doing up this late? A nighttime stroll? I found myself filled with ennui. Right. I'll go and retire for the night now. Have a good sleep. It'll be another long day tomorrow. You don't have to keep reminding me. You still have a ways to go before you get used to the commoner's lifestyle. I certainly struggled with it. Karma barely works. I only ever see him slack off. But wait, are you a noble, Karma? Perhaps. Perhaps? Perhaps. This is going nowhere. This tavern is so full of secretive people. I wonder if this lifestyle has anything to do with his curse. Well, I'm not planning to get used to the commoner lifestyle. I'll break my curse as soon as possible. Seems like we both have a long way to go before that happens, princess. Yikes. We don't want to play with you anymore. But why? We're friends, are we not? Friends? Who said that? You did. We were friends until you stopped sharing your toys. But that's because you still haven't... What? You haven't returned the toys I gave you. Return them? You gave them to us. No, I didn't. Let's go play with our real friends. Yeah, our real friends aren't selfish. Children! Oh my god. I warned you, dearest one. Didn't I tell you? People will only hurt you in the end. That's why I forbade you from playing with those children. I only ever want what's best for you. I'm sorry, Mother. I'm so sorry. Hush now, dearest one. Mother won't let anyone hurt you anymore. Holy shit. Yeah, of course you're gonna end up with a bitch of a child like Lucette. 3 weeks have passed since my encounter with the king. I'm once again in town with Waltz as he prepares for one of his shows. I've already lost count of how many of his shows I've watched at this point. The excursions have become part of my daily routine. Waltz has been insistent on training me as his assistant, so I've decided to play along. Even now, I'm helping him construct his booth, though he refuses to let me carry anything too heavy. I've experienced so many new things these past few months. Things I'd always wanted to experience, but had never told anyone about. Somehow, Waltz knew about all of them. Even when he told me that we were childhood friends and insisted that my memories of him had been erased, I hadn't believed him. But now, I'm beginning to believe that he's telling the truth about this forgotten friendship. Waltz smiles at me from where he's assembling the front of the booth. You used to dream about getting out of the palace to see Angel. And now you're here. You can't imagine how happy I am that I can finally fulfill all the promises I made to you. I still have reservations about believing your story, but... Waltz, even if you did know me a long time ago, I'm not the same. I hand him the small curtains for the booth, my head dipped so that I don't have to look him in the eyes. I'm not the child you used to know. I know that. But I also believe that the girl I knew all those years ago, the one who was always so happy over the smallest things, that kind, sincere girl, she's still you. How can that be when I don't think I've ever truly known what happiness feels like? After Waltz hangs the curtains, the booth is complete. I expect him to step out from the side as he always does, but he sets his palms down on the table instead and looks at me. When I saw you again that day, I was so happy. I thought fate had brought you back to me. Waltz's voice is very soft when he speaks. But then you still didn't recognize me. Waltz's voice trails off and I frown. There are still so many things he's not telling me. Eventually, Waltz picks up his box of puppets and smiles at me brightly. Anyway, I've got a show to perform. Don't go anywhere. I notice that his smile doesn't reach his eyes as I watch him walk away. I look out at the crowd that has gathered for the show. There are a lot of families here today. I watch as two families approach each other. The adults begin to converse with each other while the kids run up to the front of the crowd to catch a better glimpse of the show. Some of the children have shoes, but the parents are barefoot. All their clothes are dirty and torn. Their lives are clearly hard, but they're still smiling. I've never been in desperate need of clothes or food. I've never had to work for anything. I should have been happier than these people when I was a princess. But now, I'm beginning to see that the material things that I had were never enough to buy me true happiness. Hello, everyone! I take a step off to the side as Waltz begins his show. Waltz weaves his stories as seamlessly as he always does, captivating his audience with every word, but I'm not paying attention. My focus is locked on the two families standing near me. When I see these people, I cannot help but wonder, what kind of life have I been leading? Waltz's show was a success yet again. He's smiling from ear to ear as he counts the coins he's earned as a reward for his good performance. You look happier than usual. I am. I've been saving money for a special toy, and now I can finally buy it. He always says he doesn't like being treated like a child, but he gets so excited whenever he mentions a new toy. I pause at the sound of laughter and look up to see a group of children talking excitedly to each other as they approach Waltz and I. Ah, this might be an opportunity. An opportunity? Making these children happy might be a good deed. What? Waltz ignores me as he jogs up to the children. Waltz! The group of children swarm him, talking loudly as they try to cling to him in some manner. We've been waiting forever for you to come back. But I was here a couple of days ago. But you didn't have time to play. Can we play now? Please, please, please. We've been good just like you told us. The group looks around at the group of children and they all nod their heads with eager agreement. Well, if you've been as good as you say, how could I say no? The children cheer. I'm gonna start counting now. Come on. You won't find us this time. The children disperse around the area. I watch them go with disinterest. That's your cue to hide, princess. What? Why do I need to take part in this? You don't want to play? but we used to play hide and seek all the time. I'm fairly certain I've never played a game like this with anyone before. Is this another memory that was taken from me? Big sister, play with us! A little girl runs up to me and begins to pull me along with her. Hey. Thank you for adding to the pot, Arachnash! Welcome back. I remember your name from last week. Thank you. Oh, there are people here. This is shock horror. Yeah, I see you there too, Zerdy. I'm not ignoring you. I know you'll be here. People are here and it's horrifying. Why'd you want to watch my ugly mug? I look at Waltz, but he only smiles at me. It seems like I don't really have a choice. Waltz turns to face a wall. He covers his eyes and begins to count. Before I can react, the little girl has let go of me and is running off. What's going on? I turn and see a boy hiding behind a barrel. You have to hide before he finishes counting. It didn't even explain the rules of the game. How was I supposed to know what to do? I look around me to find places that I might hide. Maybe behind the tree? Behind the fountain would also work. Or those wooden crates. Which one of these places should I hide in? Apparently behind the crates. Ready or not, here I come. I cannot believe I'm sitting on the dirt to avoid being seen. My dress is getting soiled because of a child's game. It's a big mood, Zeddy. It's a big mood. Found you! My heart begins to race as I turn to look at him, but I realize that Waltz has found one of the children. Oh, it wasn't me. Wait, why am I worried about being found? Got you! Every so often I hear Waltz proclaim that he's found someone, but he still hasn't found me. Do I get something if I win this game? You still haven't found Big Sister yet. You're right. Where could she be hiding? This is quickly becoming boring. Found you! I jump when I hear Waltz's voice behind me. He looks down at me in triumph. You won, Princess! I won? It looks like you're an expert at this game. I'm not. You just didn't look hard enough. That doesn't change the fact that you still won the game. You should be happy. Great job, Princess. Waltz pats me on the back and smiles once again before he turns his attention back to the children. He's right. His praise makes me feel strangely happy. Why? Right, everyone. That's it. The children begin to whine, clearly disappointed. We only played one round. Now don't be like that. I promise to play another game with everyone soon. Now run along. I'm sure your parents are looking for all of you. One of the children, a little girl, tugs at my sleeve. Thank you for playing with us, Big Sister. Please, come again. She smiles up at me before skipping away to join the rest of the children. All of the children head off together back toward the residential area of the town. They like you. How do you know that? Didn't you see how happy they were when you joined in? Children are so easy to please. That's why I envy them. Adults aren't like children. They worry too much and don't appreciate the small joys in life. As we grow up, we forget how to be happy. Forget how to be happy? Waltz might be right about that. When I was younger, my dolls brought me so much joy, but now... Anyway, since you won, you deserve a treat. A treat? You'll like it, I promise. I sit on a wooden bench waiting for Waltz to return. He said it would be easier for him to go alone because he wanted to surprise me. I didn't protest. I've been on my feet all day. I never thought I would be running around playing with children. I wonder what this treat is going to be. Every time we come to the plaza, it's always packed with people. Most of the popular shops are clustered in this area. I observe the town quietly before my eyes land on the statue of the king. He looks noble, riding a rearing stallion. The sight makes my heart twist uncomfortably. I'm pulled out of my thoughts when a child trips and falls in front of me. He begins to cry. Should I do something? But before I can react, a man and woman are there, pulling the child up. The man takes the child in his arm as the woman rubs his back. There, my love. Mama and Papa are here now. I watch as I slowly walk away, the mother still crooning to her child. Mother would always get angry at me if I was about to cry. Wonder what it's like to be comforted like that. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Are you okay? I keep the family in sight for as long as I can before turning to Waltz. I'm fine. Here. Hey, toffee apple. What's this? A candied apple. A long time ago I promised that I would bring you one, but I wasn't able to keep that promise. That's why I'm fulfilling it now. I do not recall such a promise. I twirl the candy, inspecting its glazed and shiny appearance. I didn't know you could make an apple look like this. Hey yo, Ariel. Welcome. He is still a child. I promise there are no poison apples here. These ones are just sweet. I sniff at the candy. Sweet. I take a small bite. Well? I become so immersed in my taste test that I don't even hear Waltz. The candied apple tastes nothing like I've ever tried before. This is good. I take another, bigger bite. Is that a smile I see, Princess? What? I wasn't smiling at all. Was I? When I get some extra money for my shows, I'll make sure to treat you again. I have a lot of favorites to show you. There are more desserts like this? Of course. I'll make sure you try all of them. Yeah, lockdown is extended, my boys. Sit back and relax, all those people whose work is not essential. I'm back at work. Cool. Yeah. There's enough work for me to be there. Waltz stands, then moves over to a trash bin so he can dispose of his finished apple. It's getting late. Let's go back to marching. You are unessential? Big rip. See, that's Waltz when he's older. He's hot. The next few weeks become a blur. I continue to help out in the tavern while sometimes accompanying Waltz for his shows. Look, the best thing about me going back to work is that it means that I actually do something with my time. Because without work, I'm just not useful. Just waste time. Though Waltz continues his lessons on goodness, I have yet to gain a single good deed. I'm slowly starting to lose hope. It's been months since I was cursed, and I still have yet to complete a single good deed. Today, I have been assigned the task of serving Marchen customers. I honestly prefer my duties with Mr. Broom. At least I don't have to mingle with all those people. I've only just entered the tavern when I freeze at the sight of a familiar face. Fritz? His posture is stiff, his arms are crossed, and he's obviously uncomfortable. What is he doing here? How did he get in here? I walk toward him, but don't get far before he's in front of me, down on one knee with his head bowed. I finally found you, Your Highness! How does he remember me? How did he find me? Fritz. Princess, I have no idea what's happening, but the whole kingdom, everyone has completely forgotten you, and... Let's go somewhere else to talk. I interrupt Fritz when I notice all the stares around the room. Not so fast. Seemingly from nowhere, Jurian and Garland are in front of me, separating me from Fritz. Lady Jurian? Sir Garland? I was told you left Angiel. What are you two doing here? I could ask you the same, Sir Fitzgerald. What are you doing here? Fritz is at a loss for words as he stares at Jurian, confused. Answer the question, Sir Fitzgerald. What are you doing here? I'm quickly reaching the end of my patience. Just let me talk to him. Neither Jurian nor Garland back down. If anything, they only look more ready to draw their swords. I don't trust him. As I look at the three of them, I remember the story of Jurian and Garland's dismissal from the Order of Caldera. Sir Allcaster was the one that dismissed them, so perhaps they hold some type of grudge? Is it because Sir Fritz is Sir Allcaster's son? I don't know why you don't trust Sir Allcaster, but Fritz is a completely different person. He's my knight. He would never harm me. We have our reasons for doing this, Princess. I sigh, rubbing at my forehead with my hand to try and dispel an impending headache. I swear, you lot are like a bed of snakes. Stop hissing at each other. Delora walks in from behind me, swatting at Jurian and Garland to move them. She smiles at Fritz before turning to beam that same smile at Jurian and Garland. If you're so concerned, then feel free to chaperone the princess with her knight. I'm sure the two of you can handle it if he tries to do something funny. Fritz's voice is quiet when he speaks. You know I would never hurt her. Fine. I glare at Jurian and Garland when we're in the reception room. Thankfully, they take the hint and retreat to the opposite wall, far enough to give Fritz and I some privacy. Fritz speaks as soon as I sink into a chair. I haven't seen you in 4 months, Princess. It's been that long already? Did you know how worried I was when I woke up one day and realized that Princess Emmeline was in your place? To make things worse, no one remembered you. Not even the king. When I brought up Crown Princess Lucette, everyone thought I was delusional. Where do I even begin? I decide to start with the facts of my curse and how I'm meant to break it. So, you have the Cinderella curse and that's the reason you've remained in the Marchen? Yes. And you need to complete 3 good deeds to break it. That is right. And how many good deeds have you accomplished, if you don't mind me asking? I frown as I shake my head. None. I don't think I'm capable of doing good. Of course you are. I look up in surprise at Fritz's impassioned declaration. Let me start with this. I knew even when we first met that I was not what you were expecting. I wouldn't be surprised to know that I even disappointed you. But you never said a word of complaint, even in the beginning when I made lots of mistakes. And we both know how clumsy I was in the beginning. There is kindness in you, Princess. I know this for a fact. Even when I look away, I can still see Fritz's eyes and smile directed at me. Anyway, so if everyone has forgotten who you are, how is it that I can still remember you? There's only one reason that makes any sense, though it brings up more questions than answers. Those who have the fairy tale curse are not affected by the conditions of another person's curse. Wait, are you saying that I'm cursed? Unless you're secretly a witch or a fairy. No, I'm definitely human, I can assure you of that. What about Lady Jurian and Sir Garland? Jurian speaks up from her corner of the room. Though the knights have been feigning disinterest, there is no doubt they're listening into our conversation. We aren't cursed, so unfortunately we don't remember Princess Lucette being, well, Crown Princess. We only found out when she came here. I see. Fritz's distress is apparent as he looks grimly down at the floor. He hasn't admitted to having the curse, which means that he either doesn't know he has it, or refuses to tell me. I can't believe this. How could I have the fairy tale curse and not know about it? Have there been no differences in your life lately? I suppose I've been more forgetful lately. Does that count? You've always been forgetful. I know. Fritz's posture stiffens as Jurian walks towards us from the other end of the room. Her arms are crossed and her gaze, directed at Fritz, is filled with suspicion. How were you able to find this place? Fritz looks back at me as if asking permission, and I nod. I've been dispatching scouts throughout Angiel to look for the princess ever since she disappeared. A girl matching her description was seen in this area, entering this house. When my scouts entered this place, they found it empty and abandoned. I figured that this was as good a place as any to start looking for traces of her. Though I was expecting an empty house, not a tavern full of people. Only those with the curse or certain permitted people, such as Jurian or myself, can enter this place and see it for what it is. So, I really am cursed then. Fritz is silent for a few moments as he considers what was just said to him. It does explain things, though not as much as I'd like. Fritz stands. I still have many questions to ask, but I'm expected back at the palace. Fritz turns to look at Jurian and Garland. I don't know why the two of you are here, but I'm glad that you are. I know I can trust you to keep the princess safe. Please, take care of her. You don't have to tell us twice. Fritz smiles in reply before turning once more to bow to me. Until we see each other again, princess. A week goes by after Fritz leaves the tavern, and my luck doesn't change. I'm still unable to complete a single good deed. I want to ask Parfait if she knows anything about Fritz and his curse, but she's been absent from the tavern for more than a week. When I asked Delora why Parfait was missing, all the witch said was that Parfait was busy dealing with the rapid spread of the fairy tale curse. Today, I'm accompanying Waltz to the toy shop to buy materials for his upcoming show. But now I can't find him. He was by the shelves earlier. Where has he gone? I turn a corner and my gaze is caught once more by the dolls on display. One particular doll catches my eye and I cannot help but marvel at its beauty. Oh, she cute. If only I had enough money to buy you. I notice a man standing just to the right in front of the teddy bear display shelf. Isn't that the father I saw with his daughter a few weeks ago? He's looking at the teddy bear that his daughter wanted, the one he didn't have enough money to buy. I watch as he opens one of his clenched hands. There are some gold coins in his palm. I glimpsed the price tags of the teddy bears earlier, and I'm certain that the man doesn't have enough money to afford the one he is eyeing. I thought I'd have saved enough by now. Now what do I get for her birthday? The man heads over for the next shelf over. He raises a hand to rub at the back of his neck. I walk over and pick up the bear the man was just looking at. It's very soft and somehow comforting to hold. I can see why the girl liked this one. I begin to move toward the counter without realizing. I hold the teddy bear to me with one hand and reach for the bag of coins with my other. The king gave me this money all those months ago, but I never used it. If I buy this bear, I will be completely broke. Miss? Could you wrap this for me? Of course. After she has finished wrapping the bear, I turn to search for the father. It seems he's no longer in the shop. Has he left? Wow, that's a big toy you got there. Waltz appears with a bright smile on his face. He leans forward to inspect the package I'm holding. I need to find him. Who? I'm sure he hasn't gone too far yet. Hey, wait! Where is he? Princess, where are you going? We explain. Someone I need to find. Did you happen to see the man eyeing the large teddy bear earlier? I think I caught a glimpse of him. Why? We need to find that man. I must give this to him. I'm about to run off into the crowd when I feel Waltz's hand on my sleeve. I turn to snap impatiently at him, but find my annoyance dying at the expression on his face. Look, I'm not entirely sure of what's happening, but I'll help you. But you have to stay with me. We shouldn't be separated in this crowd. Fine. Waltz keeps his pace with me as I almost break into a run. It'll be difficult to find that man with all these people around. But we should at least try. Waltz and I search for hours, but we never find him. I don't even know his name. We can try again tomorrow. It's going to be dark soon. But it's her birthday. Who? I ignore Waltz. In the brief second that I close my eyes, I can see the man's pained expression in my mind. I sit down on a bench and clutch the wrapped bear to my chest. He wanted to buy this bear for his daughter's birthday. Because he loves her. A familiar ache flares up in my chest. Aww. I've spent my whole life wanting the king to treat me the same way that man treats his daughter. Lucette, I promise you we'll look first thing in the morning. Aww. Waltz and I head back to the mansion, but the weight in my chest slows me down. It's not like you to be this sad for a stranger. You've changed. Have I? Welcome home, Papa. The girl's voice is familiar. I whirl in my heels and stare at the little girl in the doorway of one of the homes. I thought we were too late, but we found them! The little girl runs from her home to wrap her arms around her father, who picks her up and pulls her into a tight hug. I'm sorry I'm late, sweetheart. But you're here now. Mama, Papa is here. We can start my birthday party now. The girl wiggles out of her father's embrace and runs back into the house excitedly. The man is carrying a small box in his hand, wrapped neatly with a ribbon. He looks down at his gift and sighs. Before he can go inside the home, I walk toward him and tap him on the shoulder. Excuse me? You were in the toy shop earlier. I was. We've been looking everywhere for you. For me? He looks first at me, then at the package I carry in my arms. Can I help you with something, miss? I heard it was your daughter's birthday today. She's turning 7 today, but why? Here. It's so cute. This is for your daughter. This is the toy you wanted to buy for her. Take it. No, I can't possibly. Just take it. The man seems to be in too much shock to reach out for the teddy bear. He shakes his head in wonder. This is so cute. Oh, I love it. You don't even know who we are. Why would you do something like this? I've been asking myself that all day. You love your daughter very much, don't you? She's my life. She and my wife. But I cannot pay you for this. Papa, why are you taking so long? The girl is suddenly at the door again, her eyes staring right at me. Who are you? The girl clings to her father's legs. She looks curious, but not afraid. I don't know what to say. This pretty lady here is your fairy godmother, little one. I turn to glare at Waltz. What is he playing at? Fairy godmother? Like the one in Cinderella? Yes. I shoot Waltz another warning look, but he only grins at me. She's going to fulfill your birthday wish. Isn't that right, my lady? We play along, because this is adorable. It is her birthday. I might as well play along. Yes, I am. Really? Waltz nudges me toward the little girl. I glare at him before I kneel down and hold the wrapped teddy bear out to her. What does Waltz usually say to give children when he gives them gifts? Oh, you have been a very good girl. This is for you. The girl reaches out and takes the bear. Her eyes light up as she stares at it. Is this a teddy bear? I nod and the little girl squeals, twirling around with the wrapped teddy bear tight in her arms. Then suddenly she puts the bear down and throws her arms around my neck. This is so fucking cute. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you for granting my wish, Miss Fairy Godmother. I'm too shocked to react. Mama, look what my fairy godmother brought me. I can only stare as the little girl runs back into the house with her gift. Thank you. I glance at the man who, much to my surprise, has tears running down his cheeks. He's still somehow smiling through them. I'll never forget your kindness. He dips into a short bow, then disappears into his home. Bright light. This is a piece of the glass slipper. Your first good deed. I stare in disbelief at the hovering piece in my hand. One moment it is there, the next it's been swallowed by a bright light and has joined with my pendant. I can't believe it. Waltz, look! But Waltz isn't looking at my new pendant. He's looking at my face, his gaze enraptured. What are you looking at? You just smiled. I did? It's as beautiful as I remember. I feel slightly embarrassed and have no words as I quickly turn my head away. I'm glad that you decided to play along with my story. You made her birthday extra special by making her believe that you were her own fairy godmother. But no matter how tough things are, every child has someone watching over them so long as they're good. My eyes are still on the slipper when I hear an unfamiliar voice behind us. Cinderella's glass slipper, huh? Oh, y'all, we all know who this is. Varg, you motherfucker, get out of here. We both turned around to stare at a man standing a few feet from us. He's cloaked in darkness, but I can still make out his grin. Hello, princess. It's fucking Varg. This motherfucker. The man starts walking towards us slowly. Waltz moves to stand in front of me. Princess, stay close to me. Good evening, Princess Lucette. And a good evening to you too, Peter Pan. The man drops into an elegant bow. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Varg. What do you want, Varg? How do you know who we are? I'd love to stay and chat, but I have more important things to do. The princess is coming with me. Varg takes one long stride toward us. He taps the cane he is holding onto the ground. A surge of light emanates from the cane, then flares out toward us. Princess, go back to the marchen. Hurry. Waltz darts toward Varg before I can stop him. Varg raises his cane and twists it in one sharp movement. The light abruptly changes direction and slams into Waltz's side, throwing him some distance away. Waltz! Before I can step away, Varg has lifted me into his arms. He grins at me almost wolfishly before darting away from Waltz. No! Princess! Let me go! No can do, princess. I let you go and things will get messy. What do you want from me? Are you a... I cannot even say the word. My blood runs cold as I consider the situation. Are you a witch? That I am not. Can you expect me to believe you? You just used magic back there. I guess I did. Let me go! I squirm in his arms, attempting to kick and push him away from me. Varg abruptly stops with a grunt to let me down. This is my chance. I start to bolt away from him, but he quickly grabs my wrist and pulls me back. Not so fast. Get your hands off me! I'm not here to hurt you, princess. After what you did to Waltz? He leans in toward me until he can look me in the eyes. Well, he was in the way. Besides, it's not like I killed him. Varg begins walking again, this time pulling me with him. I try to break away from his iron grip, but fail. Where are you taking me? Back to where you truly belong. If there's one thing I've learned from the fairy tales, it's that a princess belongs in a palace. I'm unable to stop the gasp that leaves my lips. He stops and turns to me. You've been away from home for far too long, princess. Don't you want to go back? I do want to go home, but I'm not welcome there anymore. At least not while I'm still cursed. Release her! Varg releases me just in time to block a sword strike that comes from out of the darkness of the trees. Tch, how annoying. I could say the same thing about you. And already she has forgotten what karma looks like. I back away as the two trade blows. Varg uses his cane to defend himself against the man that just emerged from the trees. That man. He's the one who was with Waltz. The man with the sword that helped save me from the bandits all those months ago. There's something graceful in the way the man moves as he swings his sword at Varg. He almost looks like he's dancing. The stranger continues swiping the sword, eventually gaining enough leverage to force Varg back. He moves so quickly that it takes all of Varg's reflexes simply to block his slashes. They're so fast. Varg takes a few steps back and keeps a safe distance from the stranger. Impressive. The man gives Varg a lopsided smile as he points his sword at him. The two of them temporarily frozen as they each wait for the other to move first. You're not too bad yourself. Wait, is that... Now that he's stopped and I have a better look at him, I can see that the stranger's features are uncannily similar to Karma's. Karma? But is it really him? Princess, are you okay? I turn to see Waltz and Delora rushing toward me. How did you find me? Delora used her magic to track you down. Thankfully, no other witches beat us here. Waltz halts in front of me while Delora advances toward the two men. So, what do we have here? Delora, right? Can't say that it's a pleasure to meet you. I have to compliment you all. You did an impressive job hiding the princess from us. It took a while to finally track her down. Finding your so-called tavern was difficult, you know, but I got lucky. How does he know about the tavern? No sooner are the words out of Varg's mouth that the swordsman is suddenly upon him again, posed to attack. Varg blocks his sword in a second too late and is forced to back away, clutching his now bloody arm. You talk too much. Sorry, I shouldn't have forgotten my manners in front of royalty. Varg's gaze turns to Delora, a smirk somehow still on his face despite his injury. You have quite an interesting bunch with you, witch. How about joining us instead? We could always use more witches like yourself. Thanks, but no thanks. Too bad. Varg turns to look at me. He holds out a hand and gestures me toward him. Come with me, princess. You know you don't belong here. I clutch my hands into fists as I shake my head. Your mother won't be very happy with your decision, princess. Especially after all she's done to make sure you'll be a suitable heir. Mother? What are you talking about? But Varg ignores me as he raises his cane. Ow. My glasses are sitting in a weird spot. Owie. But Varg ignores me as he raises his cane. Sorry to leave the party so quickly, but I'll be back soon enough for you, princess. Next time, whether you like it or not, you'll be coming with me. I'm not done with you. Delora throws her hands out, beginning to gather light in her palms, but Varg has already brought his cane down on the ground. Thick smoke envelops the area, making my eyes water. When the smoke clears, Varg is gone. Delora huffs in annoyance as she lowers her arms back down to her sides. To think that those witches are using a human to do their dirty work. What was that cane he was carrying? I look up at the stranger, who had sheathed his sword and is walking towards where Waltz, Delora, and I are standing. It's an enchanted item. That cane has been infused with a spell that allows Varg to use magic. Limited magic, but powerful enough to make him dangerous. Well, it's far easier for a human to explore the kingdom without anyone getting suspicious. The stranger stands close enough for me to get a proper look at his face. I can no longer deny the resemblance I saw earlier. Karma? Is that really you? You have good eyes, darling. So this is what Karma looks like as a man. Why does he need to disguise himself as a woman? I open my mouth to ask the question when I'm interrupted by Waltz's hand on my shoulder. Are you hurt anywhere? I turn to Waltz and freeze when I notice the dried blood in his forehead. You're bleeding! I'll be fine. I step back and realize that Waltz is standing oddly, favoring one leg to the other. Varg must have badly hurt him. You shouldn't have come here. You shouldn't have come here. I had to. It's my fault Varg got to you in the first place. Waltz forces a smile, but I can see the sadness in his eyes. I couldn't protect you at all. I'm so sorry. Why do you keep worrying about me? I'm not even hurt. What if something happens to you? Waltz smiles. He tries, with great effort, to mask his pain. I'm happy that you're worried about me, princess. It doesn't matter what happens to me as long as you aren't hurt. How can you say that? Waltz's expression suddenly twists as he doubles over, his eyes glazed in pain. Waltz! Delora catches one of Waltz's arms, supporting him as she turns to address both Karma and I. We should return to the march, and Rumpel needs to see to Waltz's injuries. Rumpel? I'll explain everything once we're back. Delora calls for Rumpel as soon as we arrive at the march, and when Rumpel enters the reception area, he's clearly distraught by Waltz's injuries. What happened? Heal first, explain later. I expect Rumpel to object and am surprised when he does nothing more than nod. Carefully, Rumpel leads Waltz back to his room so he can be treated. Delora looks in the direction Rumpel and Waltz had gone with a thoughtful look on her face. We're lucky that we have Rumpel here with us. Anise is good with herbs and small wounds, but Rumpel has experience with more serious injuries. Experience? What are you talking about? Remember his curse? Rumpel is not the only one who doesn't remember who he is. None of the townsfolk remember his name either. But what about those with the curse? Shouldn't they at least be able to remember his name? Rumpel is an exception to the rule, as he is with many things. In his case, not a single person can remember his name. Funny thing is, they can still recognize him. He ran into someone who called him a doctor today. Even just hearing it brought a memory back. He's gotten one of the chapters of his journal back now. He's quite the proficient doctor. He collects his journal pages by retrieving memories from others that still remember him. What a strange curse. My eyes wander around the reception area and I notice that someone is missing. Where's Karma? Don't worry about him. He's probably changing now. I don't understand why Karma is so secretive about his reasons for wearing a disguise. I'm about to ask Delora if she knows any of the specifics of Karma's curse when the door to the reception area is thrown open. Princess! I'm surprised when Anise suddenly throws her arms around me. She pulls me into a tight hug. I was so worried about you. Thank goodness you're safe. She pulls away and begins to wipe at tears that have sprung to her eyes. Why are you crying? Because I was worried about you, silly. She was really so worried she'd cry? Why? I'm intensely aware of the awkwardness of the situation. Thank you for worrying about me? I had thought the words might do something to ease her worries, but her sobbing only grows louder. Anise? I'll get you something warm to drink. I stare off after Anise before I turn to look at Delora worriedly. Did I say the wrong thing? Quite the opposite, actually. You made her very happy. I did? But she was crying. They're called tears of joy, Princess. I'd be overwhelmed too if you were suddenly nice to me. Miracles tend to bring people to tears. I just said thank you. And that was a kindness in and of itself. No wonder she's so happy. I was being kind? And congratulations, Princess. I see you've managed to complete your first good deed. My hand moves instinctively to my pendant. I clutch at the new piece that hangs there. I knew you could do it. Delora smiles warmly. For some reason, it makes me feel strangely proud. Parfait walks into the room, startling us both. It's been 2 weeks since I last saw her. Her face is ashen. Parfait, you know that continuously using your magic takes a toll on your body. I have no choice. The witches... Her voice trails off as her eyes meet Delora's. Parfait and Delora look at each other solemnly. The tension in the room mounts as they continue to stare at each other without uttering a word. Eventually, Parfait's eyes wander to me. Keeping her in the dark won't make this situation any better, Delora. Parfait moves toward me, but her knees buckle. Before I can react, Delora is already at her side, supporting her. Parfait, you need to rest. I'll take care of this. No, she needs to hear this from both of us. What's going on? We wanted to tell you about this later, but we can no longer afford to wait. Delora... Excuse me? Printer is just suddenly angry. Oh my god. I tentatively take a seat opposite the two of them. We're going to tell you the whole truth of this situation. The whole truth? Delora sighs before she eventually speaks. Do you know why I cursed you, Princess? Some twisted sense of mischief? That's not the whole reason. We needed you to change your ways, Princess. To change how you see the world. If we didn't do something, you were going to end up as merciless and cold-hearted as your mother. What are you talking about? IT gods object to the truth. I object the lies. My eyes go to Parfait, but she doesn't meet my gaze. Hilda, your mother, was not always so cruel. Parfai's eyes look wet as if she's about to cry. Why are you speaking as if you knew her? She was my friend. Long before she was the queen, Hilda was like a sister to me. But she changed when the witch hunt happened. What does the witch hunt have to do with Mother? Parfait doesn't meet my eyes, but Delora is looking right at me. Your mother was a witch, Lucette. The most powerful of the witches, in fact. Hilda was the Tenebrarum bearer. My heart drops into the pit of my stomach. No, that's impossible. I've never seen her use magic. She cannot be a witch. That's what she wanted you to believe. You cannot keep something like that a secret. If you try hard enough, you can keep anything a secret. Even from your own family. But how? Delora pauses for a long moment before she speaks. She erased your memories, Lucette. The air leaves my lungs as I struggle to remain calm. Waltz said that Mother ordered my memories to be erased, but... Are they saying that it was Mother herself who erased my memories? Jagged pieces of memory and thought begin to snap together in my mind. She needed you obedient and compliant. Whenever you acted out, she took that memory of disobedience from you. And it didn't take long at all to mold you into her perfect and unquestioning little doll. I grip my dress without realizing. My hands are shaking. Then I did know Waltz. Mother really did erase my memories of him. How much of my childhood did I lose? Hilda cherished humans before. She was kind and selfless. She was devoted to maintaining the balance between the Lucis and the Tenebrarum. But Hans... Delora moves to place a gentle hand on Parfait's shoulder. It's not your fault. I trusted him too much. He swore that they would only be stories, small fantasies to share with his children. Hilda wanted to turn him away, but I disagreed. I allowed Hans to weave his tales about witches and fairies. The fairy tales? Delora nods. Hans's fairy tales became hugely popular, and in practically every single one of his stories it was a witch who is bad and a fairy who is good. To add insult to injury, it was well known that Hans had been welcomed by the Lucis bearer, but not by the Tenebrarum bearer. The humans took that information and their imaginations ran wild. Hilda and I went to Hans to beg him to tell the truth, but it was too late. No matter what Hans said, everyone believed that he was being threatened by the witches. I don't think he ever meant for things to get so out of hand either. When the king at the time, your grandfather, also voiced his negative opinion on witches, he only added fuel to the fire. It was as if he was giving humans permission to carry on with their witch genocide. And we could do nothing to defend ourselves. We were bound by our oath to never hurt a living soul. The witch hunt lasted for years. Most of us were slaughtered. All witches are bound to the Tenebrarum bearer through the Tenebrarum itself. Hilda felt each of the deaths like it was her own. It drove her mad. And she broke her oath. She killed the king, your grandfather. Mother killed my grandfather? Why are we talking about meme gods? Why? As Hilda's power kept growing, more and more good witches were corrupted through her influence on the Tenebrarum. I tried to stop her, but she was already lost to reason. Hilda wanted to take Angiel for the witches. She wanted to take revenge on the humans for what they had done to all of us. And since your father was next in line, Hilda forced Gennaro to marry her so she would have a legitimate claim to the throne. And she did it even though she knew he loved another woman. The very woman who sits on the throne today. Ophelia? Delora nods. The king has always loved... Ophelia? Hilda created the fairy tale curse to punish the humans. She wanted to fuel the Tenebrarum with their hatred and anger. Parfait's voice becomes very soft. The balance between dark and light was lost. While Hilda lived, Angiel was a place of grief. I could feel an impending headache coming. But even if what you're saying is true, Mother is dead. She's been dead for 4 years. She is... But for some reason, the witches are becoming more active. Garland and Jurian's patrols have confirmed this. Patrols? Is that why they disappear at night? I cast a glamour on you so that the other witches would be unable to recognize you as the princess. But it seems like they've already seen through your glamour. They're looking for you, princess. The witches are looking for you. What? Why? The Tenebrarum needs a bearer. A witch needs to take on that role and regulate the balance between the Lucis and the Tenebrarum. For the past few years, it's been in a state of hibernation. We believe Hilda infused her life into the Tenebrarum to keep it stable. But now, the Tenebrarum is beginning to wake again. We believe that's why so many people are getting cursed lately. The witches are preparing for their new bearer. Delora turns to me with an expression I cannot quite read. They only have to wait until you turn 18. The air in the room seems to disappear all at once. Princess, on your 18th birthday, your curse will break, regardless of whether you complete your 3 good deeds. And you will become the Tenebrarum bearer. You will inherit that title and that power from your mother. Impossible! My heart is racing and I feel faint. Even if Mother was a witch, I can't use magic at all. All halflings like you inherit their magic at 18. No, I'm human! Princess. Delora's expression is grim as she speaks. We've been watching over you for a long time, Lucette. We know what sort of influence your mother had on you. The curse was a test. We needed to know that you wouldn't return Angiel to what it was when your mother was queen. We cannot allow another great war to tear Angiel apart. Delora and I believe that there is still goodness left in you. You just needed a wake-up call. Thus, the curse and the 3 good deeds. We wanted you to see what you hadn't in years, to be exposed to the true reality of things. And above all, we needed to see that you were capable of 3 good deeds. I attempted to grasp the fleeting thoughts in my mind, but to no avail. I feel numb. That's it. No more secrets. Parfait's voice is gentle when she speaks to me. The future of this kingdom is in your hands. Will you follow your mother's footsteps? Or will you achieve the same balance that we had before? No matter how much I try, I'm unable to sleep after my talk with Delora and Parfait. Mother was a wicked witch, and I'm the next bearer of the Tenebrarum. It all makes sense now. So many people hated me because they thought I would be just like Mother. I feel the weight of that truth crash down on me and it's suffocating. What am I supposed to do now? I turn to my side and bring my knees to my chest. How do I know what the truth is anymore? Suddenly, an idea occurs to me. There is one other person who might know the truth. Waltz. I wonder how he's doing. I slip out of my room and make my way toward Waltz's. Waltz is sound asleep when I push the door to his room open. He looks so small on the bed. I pause to look at the hefty amount of herbs lying on the table. Those herbs. I remember Anise once told me that they help with pain. Rumpel and Anise have given Waltz a lot of them. Thoughts about the truth of my mother retreat to the back of my mind as I remember the encounter with Varg. Waltz would never have gotten hurt if it wasn't for me. My eyes begin to sting. Cry, bitch, cry! For the first time in years, I let my tears flow freely. I don't even know why I'm crying, and I find myself talking aloud. You said that crying doesn't make a person weak, but it certainly makes me feel that way. You're not weak, Princess. He's so cute! Waltz? When did he wake up? You're the strongest person I know. Waltz's voice is soft and his words are slurred. He's clearly still under the influence of the medication he's been given, but he still continues to speak. Despite everything you've gone through, you're still standing on your own 2 feet. I cannot lie anymore. I've only been pretending to be a strong person. But I can't do this anymore, knowing that all this time I've been living a life full of lies. I'm questioning even my mother's affections now. Another dangerously gloomy thought hangs at the brink of my mind. If Mother didn't care about me, that means no one did at all. I do. I care about you, Lucette. Waltz's voice begins to grow weak as his eyes flutter closed. You're tired, Waltz. You should sleep. Lucette... His voice is slurred and slow, but hearing him say my name without the title somehow feels nostalgic. Thank you for contributing, Digi! I write things down and then I forget to put it in the in the spreadsheet we have. 'Cause that's how helpful I am. Ahaha. 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 Yes, that is how I do it. Please don't cry, little star. Waltz closes his eyes, finally surrendering to sleep. I take a deep breath and leave his room, closing the door quietly behind me. What's sad news? Do I need to be mortified? What is happening? I'm already sad. Is it that that lockdown is extended? Because I know that one. Everyone at work was complaining about it. 1080 Ti? His data new? What's that? Camera? I'm confused. Like real fancy computer. It looks pretty and everything. I want to do that. That ain't happening anytime soon. It ain't happening, hun. He can take a deep breath and leave his room, closing the door quietly behind me. Again. Okay. Abracadabra. Teach me how to do it too. A magician never reveals his secret, little star. You always say that. Please. Just this once. Yeah, it's because everyone's stuck inside, and suddenly people are just like, I'm playing games all the time, why not upgrade? And that means that there's less on the market as well, and that also means that prices hike up higher. Great. Just this once. Please, Waltz. On your birthday, I'll teach you how to do it on your birthday. Promise? Promise. We remembered something. Yes. I love it. I wake slowly, the dream somehow still clear in my mind. A dream about Waltz? Was that a memory? I shake my head before I glance at the clock, stopping to stare at the time. How is it already this late? Princess? Waltz? The door opens and Waltz walks inside with his tray of food. He sets it down by my bedside as I stare at him in shock. You're finally awake. Waltz, you're supposed to be in bed. I'm only injured, not an invalid, princess. Oof. But I'm fine, princess. It's not like you to worry so much. I respond to his smile with an exasperated sigh. He'll never heal properly if he doesn't stay in bed. Here, I wanted to give this to you yesterday. Waltz reaches behind his back and pulls out a neatly wrapped box. It looks as if he's pulled it out of thin air. Another magic trick? He hands me the wrap box. What's this? You'll need to open it to find out. It's the doll! He's so cute! This is... You've been wanting this, haven't you? I stare down at the doll he bought for me. It's the same one that caught my eye at the shop. The reason we went to the toy shop was so that you could buy this for me? Yup, I'm glad it didn't get damaged last night. My chest tightens with emotion. These dolls are expensive. Waltz would have needed more than just his usual show tips to buy this. Why would you buy this for me? I figured you might want the extra company. Plus, you've always loved dolls, so I thought this one might cheer you up. I stare at the doll as I cradle her in my hands, my heart feeling full in my chest. Thank you. I've never gotten an unexpected gift like this before. Waltz clears his throat, and when I look up at him, I notice that his expression is somehow sad. Lady Parfait told me that she and Delora told you the whole story yesterday. I have to apologize to you. For what? The reason why they didn't tell you earlier is because I asked that they keep it a secret. I look down at the doll, my mouth suddenly dry. Why? Because I wanted you to enjoy having a normal life, even if it was just for a short time. Knowing the truth limits your freedom. I didn't want you to feel that pressure so soon. But I can see now that it was selfish of me to deprive you of the truth. I'm sorry. I clutch tighter at the doll, unable to look up at Waltz. Why would you be so kind without expecting anything in return? Kindness doesn't always need to be paid back. When you do something for someone, they will always expect the favor to be returned. That is what Mother taught me. From what I have experienced, no one is ever kind without expecting something in return. I don't expect anything from you in return, Princess. But how can I know for certain that you're speaking the truth? Well, you can't. No matter what someone's true intentions are, their actions are always up for different interpretation. So it'll be up to you to judge their actions. Only you can decide whether or not to believe in me. I pull my knees to my chest, curling up around the doll. I still don't understand how you can be so kind to me. You told me yourself it was the Canberra who cursed you. That means my mother. Your mother was the witch that took away my magic and sealed it in Neverland. But that doesn't mean it's your fault that I'm cursed. You're more than just Hilda's daughter, Princess. You are your own person, and I know for a fact that you're capable of more goodness than Hilda ever was. Waltz gestures toward my necklace. You're only two good deeds away from breaking your curse. I would not have accomplished the first one without your help. In fact, I've done nothing to help you break your... My voice trails off as my thoughts begin to come together. Waltz, to break your curse, you need to find Tinkerbell in Neverland, right? What do they look like? Neverland is a gold box with a carving of wings on the top, and Tinkerbell is the matching key. I sit up abruptly. We have to go to the palace. Waltz stares at me, his expression clearly perplexed. What? Why? Because I know where to find Tinkerbell in Neverland. Yeet! Bam, 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 bam. Waltz's description of Neverland and Tinkerbell was enough to jog my memory. A long time ago, Mother gave me a box and a key that match Waltz's earlier description perfectly. She gave me strict instructions to hide them in my room and to never let anyone else have them. I never questioned Mother's orders and kept both the box and key tucked in one of my drawers. I'd forgotten I'd even had those things until Waltz mentioned them. The minute I remembered, I sent a letter to Rod requesting he help us get into the palace. I knew that our strained relationship would make it hard for him to trust me, so I emphasized the importance of the item we needed to obtain. A week later, he finally came through. Now we're just outside the palace waiting for him. Jurian and Garland are here to protect us in case the need arises. I glance at Waltz, who is standing beside me, fidgeting. He's been against me coming with him ever since he found out my plans. He cannot stop me. I refuse to be left behind. You still won't change your mind about this, Princess? You know the situation with the witches. It's not safe for you to be here. It's not safe for me anywhere outside of the march, and you know that. Besides, how do you plan on finding Neverland and Tinkerbell without me? I'm the only one who knows where they are. Like you said, if you would just tell me where they are, I can go on my own. There's no need for you to put yourself in this much danger. I'm going, and you cannot stop me, Waltz. Princess. I turn to face him fully. This is my choice, Waltz. I want to do this. For a moment, there is a silence between us as Waltz studies my expression. He eventually sighs and shakes his head. I should know by now that there's no changing your mind when you're determined to do something. Just promise to stay close to me, okay? I nod absently as I feel around in my pocket for a small object. A vial that Parfait gave to me before Waltz and I left for the palace. She said that it should help us when the need arises. It's a shame that neither Parfait nor Delora could be here due to their urgent meeting with the fairies. Jurian and Garland finally arrive with Rod. Ready? I can only nod in reply. Hopefully nothing will go wrong. She just jinxed them. We make our way through a secret passageway. I've heard of this secret passageway from the king before, but this is the first time I've ever been here. They say that this was built as an escape route, should the need to evacuate the royal family arise. Only the commander of the Order of Caldera and the king know about this place. Rod, how do you even know about this place? How did you get a key? I thought that only the king and Sir Allcaster had copies. It was Lady Parfait who showed me this place and gave me the key. I can't leave the palace unattended on normal circumstances, so she suggested I go through here whenever I needed to get to the Marchen. Then, how was she able to get a copy of the key? You should ask her yourself. Anyway, you haven't even told me what you needed from your room. It's an item that will break Waltz's curse. I see. Why did it take you so long to respond to my letter? The palace has been on high alert since last week. Why? Rod stops and looks at me. The hesitation is clear in his eyes. Did something happen? A week ago, the king received a letter. A warning. A letter? It said that 3 days from now, the king will be judged and convicted. His crown will be given to one more worthy. I stare at Rod with slow understanding. 3 days from now? But that date... Your 18th birthday. I continue to stare at Rod in disbelief. This cannot be a coincidence. But... a new king? Do you think someone is specifically targeting my father? We all know that royals are always in danger. But this threat has made the king especially nervous. Are the witches involved in this? The silence that falls within the tunnels is heavy. They think there is a good chance they must be. That's why the Order of Caldera has tightened security. We continue walking in silence. Ow! I hurt. Eventually, Rod points at something ahead of us. Here we are. The dim light of the tunnel illuminates a rusted door that leads into the palace. Rod looks around warily, while Waltz and I quickly duck into the shadows of a column. Thank you for the hydrate, Arachnash. Rod looks around warily, while Waltz and I quickly duck into the shadows of a column. The guards will be doing their rounds on this side soon. We need to hurry. Right. The hallways are thankfully quiet as we traverse them. Rod did a good job of scoping out the times of patrol. Eventually, we reach my room. I stop at the door to my room, suddenly overwhelmed by nostalgia. It's been so long since I've been in my room. Is this Emmeline's room now? No, by the king's order, your room has been untouched since you were cursed. Then, what has become of this room? I look at Rod in shock as he studies the door to my room with a complicated expression on his face. I think maids are sent in here to dust occasionally, but otherwise everything should be just as it was before. But why would the king keep the room as it is if he doesn't remember me? I turn back to the door thoughtfully, then glance at Rod. We can handle the rest. You should leave before you draw any unwanted attention. I don't want to get you in trouble. Don't worry, we'll figure out a way to get back to that passage without alerting anyone. What? You've changed. What do you mean by that? You never would have cared about someone else's safety before. Rod turns to leave before I can respond. Be careful. Thank you. Garland and I will stand outside. Make it quick. I nod at Jurian before turning back to the door and turning the knob. I glance at Waltz and he nods at me. I take a deep breath and open the door. What's the bet that Varg is inside? Apparently zilch. Rod told me that my room had been untouched since I left, but I was not expecting it to be like this. Nothing has changed. Not a single thing out of place. There's not even a speck of dust on the dolls on my shelves. Lucette? I'm confused as to why this room has been untouched. Certainly the king would have thought to do something else with it. Or, in the very least, he wouldn't have had the maids coming in consistently to clean it. But I cannot let myself linger on the questions. I have no time for them. We came here to find Neverland and Tinkerbell. I look at Waltz and nod. Let's start searching. Oh. Time passes, but I'm only able to find the key. The box is nowhere to be found, not even in the drawer that I remembered putting it in. To think that you had Neverland and Tinkerbell this whole time. Have you tried searching for it in my room before? I have, but I didn't find anything. She must have used a glamour magic to hide it from me. I stare at the key in frustration. I don't understand. I'm sure it was here. Are you sure you didn't throw it away? No, I would never throw away such a beautiful box. Besides, I keep most of my things. They're all valuable to me, even if they're not outwardly beautiful. I wouldn't have believed you if I hadn't seen this. He leans down to pluck a puppet from one of my drawers. He holds it up with a smile and I feel my cheeks heat in embarrassment. Oh, it's so cute. I never remember to throw that out. Waltz gazes at me thoughtfully. That's the only reason? Well, I look at the puppet in his hands and find the truth spilling out of me. I was never able to put my finger on why, but I've always liked that puppet. A smile stretches across Waltz's face. You kept it even though I did such a bad job with sewing. What? You made this? Yeah, this was the first puppet I ever made. Waltz turns the puppet in his hands, looking down on it fondly before his eyes meet mine. You were the one who taught me how to sew in the first place, you know. What? I was the one who taught him how to sew? I stare at the puppet. I probably kept it because you made it. How cruel. Huh? Do you have any idea what you're doing to my poor heart? You seem perfectly fine to me. Waltz shakes his head and sighs. That is loud.
Not anymore.
Shakes his head and sighs. Waltz? So dense. What? The knob begins to turn. Waltz and I exchange glances before we both dart to different hiding places. I hide myself under the bed and he runs behind the curtains, which more easily conceal his smaller body. What? The king? The king? What is he doing here? When the king steps inside, I notice that there is something in his hands. That's the box. But why does he have it? I look at Waltz and he gives me a small nod, affirming that it is indeed Neverland. Who's there? Show yourself now if you don't want to get hurt. The king unsheathes his sword. What should we do? I look at Waltz, who signals at me to stay in place. He mouths something, and I think he might be saying that he means to find a way to get us out. Is Waltz going to sacrifice himself again? Will he be alright? Should I trust him? We stay. I nod at Waltz. He steps out of the curtains and raises his hands in surrender. Forgive me, Your Majesty. I know you. You were Hilda's apprentice. Waltz, was it? I remember then that Waltz had worked for Mother, so naturally the king would know who he was. It's been a while, Your Majesty. I am honored you still remember me. You haven't changed. Not at all. So Hilda really did curse you for betraying her. Betraying her? Betraying her how? The king places his sword back in his scabbard. I have no idea what you're doing here now, but the king surprises us both by getting down on one knee and bowing to Waltz. Your Majesty, you shouldn't... I was never able to thank you after the war, so thank you. You did so much for our kingdom, Waltz. So thank you. We owe you our lives, if only all witches were as good as you. The king stands once again, his posture stiff and straight. There are more of us than you think, Your Majesty. I'm lost. What are they talking about? But I didn't do it for the kingdom. Waltz turns to look at me and suddenly a small smile on his face. I did it for her. Her? Who are you talking about? Waltz nods his head at me. It's all right, Lucette. I slide out of my hiding place and stand in front of the king. It's been months since I last saw him. The king's eyes widen as he looks at me. You're that girl from the gates. You remember me? It's more like I find it impossible to forget you. What? I have a lot of questions for the both of you, but the most important is why are you both in this room? Regardless of the fact that I know you, Waltz, you've still broken into the palace. We wouldn't have done it if we didn't have to. I steel myself for further scolding when the king turns to look at me. That box you're holding? We need it to break Waltz's curse. How did you come to have it, Your Majesty? The king looks down at the box as if only noticing it for the first time. I was in this room the other day and noticed a chip on the side of the box. I took it to get it fixed. A chip? I did drop it once a while back, but I didn't think to get it fixed myself. Why would you do that? The king looks around the room, a faraway look in his eyes. This room is special to me, though I don't know why. I feel like this room and I are both waiting for someone to return, and everything must be perfect for when they do. I feel my chest tighten, even as the king huffs out a derisive laugh. Blech. What am I saying? He cannot miss me when he doesn't remember me. He can't. Right? But if this box is all that you require, Waltz, you may have it. It's the least I can do after all that you've done for us. The king holds out the box to Waltz, who reaches out to take it. Thank you, Your Majesty. Look who we have here. We all freeze at the sound of the new voice. I turn and find an all too familiar figure leaning against the doorway, a mischievous grin on his face. What a sweet little reunion. Varg? Oh, this motherfucker. This lil shit. Varg! I told you I'd come back for you, didn't I? Varg taps his cane on the floor, creating a shockwave of powerful energy that blasts us all across the room. The impact of the magic forces me against the wall. I collapse to my knees, pain throbbing in my head. The king collapses somewhere nearby, and I hear the crack of the box as it lands on the ground a few feet away from us. Waltz holds out his hand. I take it, and he helps me back to my feet. Lucette, are you alright? Yes. Cat! Cat's here! Get Cat! Yay! Hello. Welcome. It's a Kit Kat attack. Hey, Cat. Hey, Cat. Can I be really mean then? Because I still haven't tried one of these yet. I really should. If you haven't guessed it yet. Ice cream flavored Kit Kats. I'm going to murder a cat. Ooh. It's good. Very white chocolate. It's kind of like cookies and cream, but with only the cream. Very disconcerting. I don't know how to feel about this. But yeah, currently, at the moment, we're trying to capture the little Peter Pan boy over there. Because he's actually like 4 years older than us, but, you know, curses. You should do that. Yeah, no shit, cat. I'm sitting down at a desk all day at work, which means that I get bored, which also means that I'm hungry, which is one of the main reasons that I actually eat during the day. Though, mind you, I didn't actually eat anything until like 1 o'clock this morning. I had a hot chocolate in the morning and then didn't eat anything until 1 o'clock, and then I'm just like, I should probably eat the yogurt and the sandwich and drink the energy drink, because otherwise I'm not going to make it through the last 3 hours. So, struggle town! I finished doing most of the filing at work, and now there's like nothing left to do. And it's frustrating. I do that at pretty much all of my jobs. But the main reason that I do it is because I used to work in retail, and you literally only, like, your lunch break generally ended up being around, like, 1, 2 o'clock if you were working retail. And, like, working the full day, and you got a break. So, like, it's a habit. But also, when I was working retail, what I would do, instead of having actual food, I would just go and get a Lindt hot chocolate. So at least now I'm having, like, instead of just getting hot chocolate for lunch, I have, like, a yogurt, and I have, at the moment, I'm taking, like, curried egg sandwiches, because my mom taught me how to make curried egg stuff, because I have literally never had curried egg until Sunday. We don't mention that, though. It's fine. Lucette! The king looks at me quizzically, but his gaze doesn't linger. He looks toward Varg, his eyes narrowed. Did the king remember who I was? Your Majesty, are you hurt? The king shakes his head at Waltz before turning his attention to Varg, his eyebrows furrowed. Look, I knew curried egg was a thing, but it was because my brother always used to have it for his, like, school sandwiches. But weirdly enough, I never tasted it, so I didn't actually know what it tasted like. I was just like, ah, yes, curried egg sandwiches. That's a thing that exists. But I don't know if I like it. Pfft, no one's ever offered to give me a taste. So, Oh, what's the background behind me? This is literally just like one of those like set up folding screen things. Yeah, it's There is a computer room behind me. This is background guy. This is the infamous background guy. But hi, Lumi. Welcome. Background guy is studying, and I'm being loud and annoying. That's what's happening in this house. Yeah, studying. Yeah, welcome. I'm just a mess at this point. I need to do more of this, otherwise I'm not gonna get this route done next week. Okay. Who is this man? Your Majesty, this person is working for the Wicked Witches. What? Wait, what happened to Julian and Garland? They were just outside the door. What did you do to them? Varg cocks his head to the side. Who? The guards just outside the door. I'm sure they must have hid themselves when they saw the king coming to the room, but they still should have been able to see Varg coming. Guards? I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about, Princess. Varg seems like he's telling the truth, but I can't trust him. Please let them be safe. I see Neverland a few feet from us. I can try to grab it, but Varg will probably thwart my attempt with magic. I have to wait for an opening. I'll distract him. While I do that, the both of you need to run. What? I eye Varg. He looks at the three of us with his lips slightly quirked as if he's amused. This isn't the time to argue with me, Lucette. Apparently we stay with him. No. Lucette, we must prioritize the king's safety. I'll help you. I don't know how, but I must do something. But we're in this together, Waltz. I'm not going to run away while you sacrifice yourself for us. Also, thank you, Kat, for the lurk. I understand what you're trying to do there. Waltz's disapproval is clearly written on his face, but he eventually sighs out, seeming to let it go. You're too stubborn for your own good. So I've been told. I turn to the king and place a hand on his shoulder. Your Majesty, leave this to us. You have to escape somewhere safe. This doesn't involve the king. It's me that Varg wants, after all. The king shakes his head as he removes my hand from his shoulder. He stands up and moves in front of us before pulling his sword from his sheath. Your Majesty! What kind of a king would I be if I stood back and allowed two children to protect me? Varg looks amused by our conversation. You know that I'm not letting you get away this time, Princess. It doesn't matter who stands in my way. Father, his cane is enchanted. You cannot hold him with just a blade. Father? I'm at a loss for words. It's been a long time since I called him that. Much to my surprise, the king's lips pull into a soft smile. You said that at the gates that one day when you were seeking an audience with me. I have not been able to forget that day. Before I can say anything in return, a familiarly smooth voice breaks the ensuing silence. Oh? I wonder where all these voices are coming from. A familiar man steps into the doorway. He inspects everyone in the room quietly. Mithros! Your Majesty? Quickly, summon the knights. We have an intruder in the palace. He gestures at Varg, who looks unperturbed. An intruder, you say? So Mithros turns to Varg. At first his expression is impassive, but then slowly his lips begin to edge into a sly smile. You're such a ruffian, Varg. Look at all this property destruction. I can only gape at Sir Mithros in shock. If he knows Varg, then he is most certainly affiliated with the witches. You know this man? Explain yourself, Mithros. We're all thrown off guard by Sir Mithros's laughing. Soon his laugh becomes a mad cackle. There is a strange brightness in his eyes that sends shivers down my spine. My apologies, Your Majesty. I'm just amused at my servant's atrocious behavior. At ease, Varg. Sir Mithros gestures at Varg a silent command to lower his cane. Varg obeys him before moving to a corner of the room and leaning against the wall with disinterest. Don't worry, Your Majesty. You're not the one we're after. What? Sir Mithros turns his sly smile on me and I instinctively take a step back. The princess is the lady we need to escort. Escort? Princess? This girl is a princess? That is correct. It's a shame you can't remember your own daughter, even though she stands right in front of you. Enough with your vagueness. Explain yourself. The king's grip on the hilt of his sword tightens. I'm not obliged to explain everything to you. Try thinking on your own for a change, Your Majesty. Mithros! Sir Mithros ignores the king's outburst and turns his attention to Waltz. He visibly stiffens and his sly smile contorts into a grimace. And look who we have here. I see that the traitor has returned to the palace. Waltz stares at him, looking puzzled. Sir Mithros tilts his head to the side and offers Waltz a lopsided smile. You still look the same as you did back then. I did not think it was possible for you to grow any weaker, Waltz Cresswell. Mithros. I see. Waltz suddenly looks melancholy as he stares at Sir Mithros. Waltz? What's going on? This man's real name is Myth, and he's a witch, same as me. It appears that he's been using a powerful glamour to conceal his real identity. If I hadn't been cursed, I would have been able to tell right away. I would not give yourself so much credit, Cresswell. Waltz narrows his eyes, but says nothing. I glance between the two of them, confused. But how do you know him? He secretly worked for your mother. Practically worshipped her. I was the only other person who knew of his existence as a witch outside of the Canberra Bearer. A witch? I trusted you, Mithros. The king says the words through gritted teeth, his face contorted in anger. Sir Mithros flicks a wrist. It's a dismissive gesture, and he still looks amused. What a hypocrite you are, Your Majesty. He eyes Waltz. You're willing to play nice with some witches, but not others. The bias is what drove us witches to madness in the first place. Sir Mithros faces the king with a grin. You human hypocrites are so easy to manipulate. It's pathetic. Mithros! The king charges towards Sir Mithros with his sword held high. Your Majesty, don't! The king's sword never touches Sir Mithros. Sir Mithros only has to hold out his hand and suddenly an invisible force pushes the king back. He crashes into one of my shelves, knocking down my dolls. Your Majesty! I quickly run to his side to help him up. Thankfully, he doesn't seem to have any major wounds. To think there was a witch working in the palace the whole time. And not the good kind of witch either. I was too careless. Rejoice, Your Majesty. I still have more surprises for you. I will never forgive this betrayal, Mithros. Betrayal? I'm afraid you've been played for a fool this entire time, Your Majesty. My loyalty has always been reserved for Lady Hilda and no one else. Myth, I can't imagine what you would hope to gain from all this. Hilda is long gone. Sir Mithros' eyes flash when he turns a severe glare on Waltz. His voice is seething with venom when he speaks. Had it not been for you, traitor, she would still be here. The king mentioned Waltz's betrayal. Sir Mithros called him a traitor. What exactly did Waltz do? Sir Mithros beckons me forward with a gesture of his hand. Now, if you please, Princess, come with us if you don't want them to get hurt. Waltz immediately stands in front of me. I won't let you take her. In your current form, you don't stand a chance. I'll make certain that you never break your curse, Waltz. This whole thing was a setup, a trap. I'm sorry, Waltz. This is my fault. No, it was mine. The reason we came was to break my curse. My eyes once again flit to the box on the floor. Neverland is just a few steps away from me. Neverland! Waltz's eyes follow mine to the box. He leans back and whispers to me. You have to get the box and break my curse. I feel for the key inside my pocket. If Waltz's true magic is indeed sealed in that box, then releasing it might give us a chance at victory. And Mithros and Varg do not seem to have caught on to the fact that the object that will break Waltz's curse is right at their feet. Okay. The king moves to stand beside Waltz and draws his sword again, his body a shield. Your Majesty! I will not let you take this girl. You will have to go through me first. You can't do this. Lucette. I've always loved that name. I thought if I ever had a daughter, I would give her that name. Magic makes even the impossible possible. You must truly be my daughter. Yes? Tears start to blur my vision. Oh, how disgustingly touching. Seems as if I'll have to just deal with you first. No! I rush toward the box at the same moment Mithros casts his spell. Varg lunges toward me, his hands reaching for me. But he's too late. By the time he grabs me, I've already inserted the key into Neverland. I give it one definite twist and hear the click of the box as it pops open. White flashes through the room, blinding me. Suddenly, I feel a strong arm around me, holding me tightly, protectively. When I open my eyes, it's Waltz I see. Even several years older, I still recognize him. He be hot, boy. Waltz? Hey there, little star. Seems the tide has turned, Myth. Waltz grins, and I see a confidence in its expression that I've never seen before. Sir Mithros' frown has only become more severe. Yet he do look real nice. He really do be looking nice, though. Fool! I'll show you that I was the favorite apprentice. Be careful not to hurt the princess, Mithros. Varg's voice is almost teasing, but Sir Mithros doesn't seem to care. I didn't plan on it. Sir Mithros gestures his hand in a sweeping gesture. The beginnings of a spell gather at his fingertips. Waltz looks at me and smiles reassuringly. Now, when I say that I can protect you, Lucette, I definitely can. Waltz holds out his hand just before Sir Mithros' magic reaches us. An invisible barrier suddenly appears in front of us, thwarting Sir Mithros' magic. It seems I'm not as rusty as I thought I would be. Waltz snaps his fingers and effortlessly creates a effortless. I cannot speak anymore. Waltz snaps his fingers and effortlessly creates a dark wave that pushes both Sir Mithros and Varg to the wall. Let's go. What do we do now? The Order of Caldera. They're sworn to an oath of protection. We can rely on them. Waltz glances down the hallway, his mouth drawn in a tight line. I see clear suspicion in his eyes. I look back at the king. The knights should have been here by now. Surely such a commotion should have brought them running. Now I know why Waltz is staring down the hallway. He's searching for the knights that are meant to pass through here. There's no possible way they didn't hear the skirmish in my bedroom. The three of us push onward. I stand between the king and Waltz, waiting. I'm not entirely sure what I'm waiting for, but I can feel the tension in the air. We only stop moving when a voice cuts through the silence. Your Majesty! Sir Allcaster stops before us with a group of knights. His face is impassive at best. Waltz takes a step back as Sir Allcaster looks to the king. The king is quiet for a few moments, his eyebrows drawn together in a terse expression. He finally speaks. I'm about to declare a state of emergency. Where have you been? Seize them. My eyes are still on the knights in front of us when I hear footsteps from behind us. I'm nonplussed when a dozen knights appear from the shadows and surround us. I look for Fritz in the cluster of knights, but he's not here. The king stares around him, baffled. What's the meaning of this? Could this be the reason why? What's happening? That voice. We all turn to watch the dining room doors open. Ophelia enters with Emmeline and Rod. Several knights trail behind them and flank them on either side, giving them no room for escape. Rod notices me and stares in shock, but says nothing. Gennaro! The minute she sees the king, she calls his name and attempts to run toward him. The knights only need to raise their swords and block her path to stop her. I think that takes care of all the intruders. Though I'm not happy that two managed to escape. Two? Jurian and Garland? If they manage to escape, they might be able to get reinforcements. The king will be judged and convicted. His crown will be given to one more worthy. I see. It was you who sent that letter, Allcaster. That's correct. Now if you want to protect your family, you will hand over your crown. The king shakes with rage. Was this yours and Mithros' plan all along? To take down this kingdom at its heart? Sir Allcaster snorts and crosses his arms. Don't clump me together with that snake. Both of us have different goals. It just so happens that we both needed to be rid of you. What? You're a weak king, Gennaro. The kingdom of Angiel needs someone who will rule with an iron fist. You're too soft, and so your subjects have become too dependent on the kingdom. And how do you propose I run my kingdom? By instilling fear. There's no place for fear in this kingdom. It's a ruler's obligation to assuage the fears of his people. I cannot believe that you would do this, Sir Allcaster. Allcaster looks at me with disinterest. Lucette, correct. I have no business with you, but I suppose Mithros does. We've been backed into a corner. What do we do? I feel for my pocket, my hand touching the smooth surface of a vial. I can still remember the potion that Parfait gave me before we left. I had forgotten I had this with me. Parfait told me to use the potion if we found ourselves in a difficult situation. She said it would give us time to escape. She didn't even tell me what it does. I glance at Waltz, who is eyeing the knights quietly. But it's also possible that Waltz would be able to do something about this situation with his magic. Potion! Potion time! I reach into my pocket and slip the vial out. I open my fingers just long enough for Waltz to see it. He gives me a subtle nod, but before turning his attention to Sir Allcaster, who is speaking with the king. I'll make you regret your actions, Sir Allcaster. I throw the vial to the floor. The moment it shatters, a blinding white light envelops the room, forcing my eyes to close. Waltz grabs my hand and pulls me away. Don't let them escape! I hear a few grunts from the knights as Waltz begins to barrel his way through them. Waltz leads me into the throne room. We've all somehow made it out. Rod stands in between Ophelia and Emmeline. Rod must have pretty good eyes to be able to lead them both out of there in all that chaos. Good job back there, Lucette. I never realized you had a potion. Parfait gave it to me before she left on her urgent meeting. It's a good thing, then. You saved me by using it, you know. Using a more complicated spell would have drained my energy. Why is this happening? Emmeline's eyes are filled with tears. Ophelia takes her into her arms and rubs her back in an effort to calm her. This is my fault. How could I not have seen this? Jurian was right about him. I should have listened to her. This is not your fault, Your Majesty. We don't have much time. We need to escape and tell Lady Parfait about this. It sounds like Jurian and Garland were able to escape. It's possible that they will soon bring reinforcements. Rod? You know these people? Rod is silent for a few moments before nodding at her. Yes, they're my friends. Friends? Rod just shrugs at me. More than likely he just wants us to play along. Waltz paces the room. Ooh. Me bumping shit. Ooh. His arms crossed as he tries to think of something. Waltz? I haven't done this in a long time, but I can try to open the portal that leads back to the Marchen. Witches can do that? Only the most practiced witches. It only works if they have a clear image of where they want to go. So you can do it? I can. I was taught by your mother, after all. Waltz starts waving his hand in front of him as he conjures a spell to open the portal. But the portal disappears as soon as it appears, and fades again. Damn it! They're coming, Waltz! I'm doing my best, Princess. Waltz tries to cast the spell again. This time, the opening appears and stays. I did it! But this won't be open for long. Your Majesty, you must go first. No, let Ophelia and the children go first. Waltz nods as he ushers Ophelia and Emmeline into the portal. Though Rod is reluctant to step inside, I force him into the portal before me. I can't keep the portal open much longer, Lucette. I can manage one more person before I need to recast it. Your Majesty, you must go. No. What? I don't have any intention of leaving. To leave this place is to abandon my kingdom. I will not flee like a coward. I will protect my throne until my last breath. But that would be suicide! He will not kill me. He may have managed to sway the order, but I have the people on my side. Killing me will cause an uprising, and that's the last thing he will want. But if the king escaped, he would be able to fight from the outside. The castle and his crown are symbols, but he is in danger if he stays here alone. I glance at Waltz and notice him paling. I can tell the magic is sapping his strength, making him weaker. I ball my hands into fists. I cannot leave the king here by himself. He's the king and I'm the crown princess. Waltz, you'll come back for me, right? What are you... Before he can react, I put my hands on his back and push with all the strength I can muster. Waltz stares at me in horror as he falls into his portal. I'm sorry. Waltz disappears and the portal collapses in on itself, leaving me with the king. Both my mind and heart are numb as the knights approach, ready to surround us. The king and I sit on the floor with our hands tied behind our backs. There are 2 knights standing by the door to watch over us. I look at the king, who remains as quiet as solemn as before. He's been so calm. Does he have a plan? Why is it that you chose to stay with me? I'm surprised when he finally breaks the silence. Because there are questions I need answers to. Besides, I cannot just leave you here. I have many things I need to ask you. King Gennaro falls silent as he stares at me. The gold of his eyes clearly reflects my own. I had never realized how similar our eyes were. Is it true? Are you really my daughter? Yes. I was given the fairy tale curse and turned into a peasant. My title was stolen from me and from the minds of the people. No one remembers who I am anymore. Cinderella? How did you know? I've noticed the glass slipper necklace on your neck, but the other slipper seems to be missing a piece. A piece? I look down and stare at the second slipper. My eyes widen when I notice that the piece is bigger. But when did this happen? I consider and recall the moment I broke Waltz's curse. Was it when I broke Waltz's curse? This means I only have one more deed left to complete, but my birthday is tomorrow. Are you alright? Yes, I'm just worried. You've been through much today. Try and get some rest. You must reserve your energy. I'm unsure what he means, but either way, there's no way I could possibly sleep now. At least, that's what I tell myself. But as minutes pass by, I feel my eyes getting heavier. Eventually, I drift into a dreamless sleep. Lucette, you must wake up. Zeddy out here making me stretch. Everyone just appreciate how this top works in this filter. It's it gives me nice pink sparkles everywhere. Nice sparkles all over the knitted thing. It's just ah yes. Glitter tits. If you know, you know. I blink a few times, and when I come to, I find that I'm leaning on the king's shoulder. I fell asleep. Zodi is traumatized. The king glances back to the door, his eyes narrowed slightly as he takes a deep breath. It's time to go. What? I turn toward the front doors and realize that the knights guarding the room are missing. They'll be back soon. We must hurry. I'm surprised when the king pulls out of the ropes that were binding him. He holds a small knife in his hands. How long has he been out of his bindings? When did you free yourself? I think I have been sorely underestimated. I've been trained just as well as the knights. It goes without saying that I could get myself out of bindings. I'm not so weak that I need to depend on others to protect me. It sounds like something I would say. Where did you get the knife? They made sure to take everything we had that could have been a weapon. Would it suffice to say that I pulled it from a hidden spot? Not many people think to look in a person's boots. The king leans down to brush my bindings, then lowers himself to the ground. His fingers brush the floor. What are you doing? Finding the keyhole. Ah, here we are. He pulls a small key from his pocket, then fits it into a crevice in the floor. The floor gives a gentle, audible rumble. The king pulls the tile from the floor, revealing a hidden staircase. There was a hidden staircase here? In the floor? An escape route, if one were ever needed. Only I know of its existence. Now we must go before they return. I nod and follow after him. The king sets the panel in place as we descend down into darkness. The floor rumbles once more as the hidden pathway closes behind us. Both of us walk in silence for some time. The only sound we hear are the echoes of our footsteps. I'm behind the king, staring at his back. He seems to have already recovered from his earlier injury. Or he could just be pretending that he's alright. How's your back? It doesn't hurt as much now, thank you for asking. Silence ensues once again. This is getting awkward. Maybe I should say something? Yes, please do. I cannot stand the silence any longer and speak up before I lose my nerve. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? Because I've done nothing but cause you trouble. Rod told me once that when I disappeared, the king was the happiest he'd ever been. Because I wasn't there. I'm sure if you had been given the chance to forget me, or not, you would have chosen... If you had been given the chance to forget me or not, you would have chosen to forget me. No, it feels like I've been the cause of your pain, not the other way around. I feel as if I should be the one apologizing. I've been wondering for a while. If you were indeed my daughter, why do you address me by my title? Do you not call me father? I stop in my tracks and turn away. It's been years since I called you that. You were never there for me, so I stopped considering you my father. A deafening silence falls upon us. I'm sorry. Can you tell me why you distanced yourself from me? The king looks at me silently with something like regret in his eyes. I want to slap myself for my foolish question. My apologies, I forgot that you don't remember me. You know, I've learned many things since I've been cursed, but the things I've learned don't answer my questions. I had thought that by staying here I would finally chance upon some answers, some truth. I've always thought that only Mother loved me because you were never there for me. I'm sorry I cannot give you the answers you seek. Well, I can understand why you would hate me. I am a witch's daughter after all. Hilda, do you know what transpired in the past? You mean with Mother? Hilda threatened to kill the person I loved if I did not marry her. She threatened to kill Ethereal. The king looks down, his face contorted with anger. Parfait said that Mother already broke their rules long before she took over the kingdom. Her hands were already stained with blood. I won't let any more of my loved ones die in her hands. I had no choice back then. I married her because I refused to let her hurt Ophelia. I hated that woman for ruining my life and my kingdom. I know. I recall when he thanked Waltz for saving the kingdom. Can you tell me who Waltz is? Waltz? He was Hilda's apprentice. He was powerful, considered the second strongest among the witches. Really? He was a child prodigy. That's why Hilda ordered his family killed when they refused to give him to her. Waltz didn't find out about that until much later. Mother killed Waltz's family? I cannot believe this. Just how many lives did she take? When he did find out, he betrayed Hilda. He divulged her plans to the fairies and helped them defeat her. I gave him a copy of the key to the secret tunnels so that he could deliver it to the Lucis bearer. So that's how Parfait got a copy of the key. Then Hilda cursed him for betraying her. I don't know how you two know each other, but it's fairly obvious to me that he's loyal to you and cares about you. He was the type of person that expressed that loyalty plainly, so I can tell. I don't know why the king decided to comment on such a thing, but my cheeks are suddenly warm. You care for him. Do I? He's a good man. How did we even get to this conversation? The two of us are still walking when the king suddenly stops and I nearly bump into him. Ah, here we are. This should bring us into a passage that leads us into the gardens. I follow his gaze to a rusty door. He slowly approaches the door. Stay close to me. I nod at him. He turns the knob and pulls open the door. That's... The king and I can only gape at the sight in front of us. It's the last thing we expect to see behind the door. Mother? So, It's 11 o'clock. We're going to save here. No, because there is still plenty enough. There's plenty enough of that route for me to finish the bloody thing next week and then do the bad end of it, and then there might be something extra. I'm not going overtime with this one again because I'm an idiot and I'm just I'm gonna get more and more tired throughout the week, and I don't I'm stupid enough. Let me go back to my TikTok spiraling. Nope. So we go and leave? Is good night times. Let's see who's on. There's not really many people on. My computer is not telling me the correct information. There we go. Look. Whoopi's playing Dead by Daylight. Let's raid Whoopi. Oh, she's also got words going on in the breaks. So, let's go and pretend to be smart people while also watching someone die. So, thanks again for coming to watch. We're gonna finish the game off next week. I'm finishing both of the games that I was playing, really close to each other, and now I'm, just struggling to figure out what I'm gonna do next. I don't know what I'm gonna play next. We will find out. Let's see. Make sure you're following things down there. Unfortunately, GAMMA.CON is not running this year because of, obvious complications. We will be posting any updates that we find out on our socials, and especially sign up to the newsletter to make sure that you get any important information. Make sure if you have some spare channel points, you chuck them into the giveaway for the Mira and SFX kit, because we do have 2 to give away. Only keeping that to Australia though, unfortunately. Every 500 channel points you chuck in, you get an entry, so make sure you do that. Thank you again everyone for watching. Have a good night, and make sure to give Whoopi some love. Bye!